Hey guys, this is Dave with BTM Reviews. How is everybody doing this fine Tuesday evening? I'm doing good. Had a good day. Kind of a long day, but a good day. Had a great night last night with you guys talking about House of the Dragon, and then did a little bit of detracting on Eric last night. That was pretty good too. But tonight, chat wins. They super chatted enough, or you guys super chatted enough last night for us to do another show about conspiracy theories, and they actually we're going to go back into the cryptid world. How you doing, Nicholas? Oh, Shane Davis got his channel back. Good for Shane. Did they ever find out what that was about? Do we know who reported them or anything like that? I don't know if they ever tell you that, but Ben Togel's not here. That's good. Thank you for not being here. How you doing, Immortal Wingnut? I don't know. I just don't get it. Why people do what they do, but they do what they do because I guess they can. And even if it doesn't get their channel taken away permanently, it makes it a pain in the ass for them to, and it puts them in panic mode because Shane's got a big channel. He wants to be successful with this channel, and to have to start over because somebody cries about nonsense, it sucks. Yeah, so tonight we don't know what cryptid we're going to talk about. We were talking about it before the show started, and we do have a video where this guy made a video where he goes over one cryptid from every state. He goes over at least one cryptid from each state in the United States. That sounds pretty fun. That sounds like something I'd be interested in because, when you go and you look at like, Cryptid Wiki or whatever, it even says, who was it? Tim Smith said there's the green something in Illinois. And I looked it up and it says it's been debunked. And the kid even admitted it was me and a buddy that started that story. So it's interesting, but I hope I don't like it when they say debunked because that takes away the mythology of it all. And if people are admitting they did it, it's not really a cryptid anymore, right? Yeah, it sounds like just something, we'll just go through a bunch of stuff. And because I bet in Motto, another thing about these, a lot of them will be the same. I haven't watched the video, but just by looking at the wiki, it looks like a lot are the same in the States. Just a little different flavor, different color, stuff like that. So we do have Woad Warrior here tonight to help us out. How you doing, Woad?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Good thing you're in town. You
Yeah.
can go from a hotel room now.
Yeah, I could. I have a feeling my audio would be pretty terrible off my tablet, but at least I'm back in.
Dude. It works for me when I have to do it.
Yeah,
it's not the worst. And then of course we got Mr. Satala who's looking at his phone, texting somebody. How you doing?
I was research, my good man. Research.
Yeah, guys, stop for a second. I'll be right back.
Hi, how you doing, Woad?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim. How about yourself, man?
Pretty good. What's new in the world of 40K?
Man, I'm just working through my backlog, doing my stupid work on my orc army. So nothing crazy. Hoping to get a game in this week. I'm kind of we're in between league times right now, so a lot of the guys, I think we're having a big tournament at the club. I think it's this weekend.
You
but
know,
I don't really do a lot of tournament stuff because
so you go like up in the club.
yeah, exactly.
Up in the club and play some 40K. Up in the
Yeah.
club.
Maybe a slightly different crowd than the normal club, but hey, it is what it is. So, but no, I've got a couple of buddies who are big in the tournament scene. I'm not as much because I just like to try and build my army to be fun versus, it's like, so it's like any other. It's like when in video games, right? They talk about, oh, this is the meta, so we're gonna do this because we want to win or be successful or get the most powerful combination. And with me, like when I'm doing my lists, when I'm building my armies, it'd be like when I play a role-playing game, right? I try and build a list that's just going to be fun to play, something thematic and fun. So
Is the game really similar to the books?
similar it is, but it's like in the books, like you read a lot of the books, like the Space Marines are super powerful and all that kind of stuff. And when you get them on the tabletop, they die just like everything else, And they've got some cool stuff going on. Everybody's got their cool little tricks and gotchas and everything. But
Because the books came first, right? Before the game? Or does the books come after the game?
the books kind of came, it was kind of a weird genesis because it came out like in the mid to late 80s with Rogue Trader. And yeah, it's interesting because of like the Black Library stuff didn't really come, pardon me, didn't really come until a little bit like much later as far as like most of the big books and everything. So most of the lore and all that kind of stuff came a lot earlier on with just the magazines, because they had this magazine called White Dwarf. It was kind of like a monthly hobby magazine they would send out. And it was funny back in the day, they would show you how to build stuff and be like, here, build this vehicle out of an old deodorant container and put some stuff on it. And now they're like, that's IP infringement and we're going to sue you.
I'm pretty sure like Dungeons and Dragons, the game was way before any of the Dungeons and Dragons books.
Well, yeah,
like
yeah.
Years and years. Like the game was around in the 70s, and I don't think a lot of the books came out until the 80s.
Yeah, good old Gary Gygax and his crew making D&D.
Yeah,
they made like the player's handbook for D&D.
Yeah, so I mean, they made the books.
I meant like the book, like the story,
novels.
like the novels, like the mini novels that kids would probably read. I'm not talking about like the player's handbook or the Dungeon Master's Guide or
right. They didn't make a game off of books. They made book off of game.
No, exactly.
That's what I was asking about 40K. If it was the same, if it was the
pretty much the same, yeah. Because it was kind of like an evolution where everything was kind of open at first, and then they kind of diverted and.
Did he go really low, or was
he went really low? Did your sound just kick out?
Can you guys hear me okay or no?
Yeah, I don't know. It just sounded like it dropped. Like
weird. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It's the government. They're watching us.
I didn't come here to read. I don't read either, Dan Blackroyd. I listen. I stopped reading a while ago. I don't get past 2 sentences, even reading my mail. It's like, I get the point. You're mad at me for something. So anyway, we had a good follow-up conversation Saturday night. We got more into the Anunnaki stuff. That was a better episode on Anunnaki.
Yeah. I mean, you could spend countless episodes on Anunnaki. It's
you
so
could on all of them though, really, because there's, I mean, if you really dive into all this stuff, there's so much lore behind all of it. Because they've all got their believers and their followers, and I like that you listen to a lot of these people. They're not really trying to convince you of anything. They're just trying to show you what they know. They're not saying you have to believe it or not.
I don't know.
I don't
know. I just like to hear different stuff, and it interests me. And it goes, well, is this real? Is it not? It could be. I don't know. Like I was watching some weird shit today about some guy in the deserts looking at some pillars in the desert that's some bighorn sheep rock or something somewhere in the Southwest, and trying to see if the shadows hit this thing. And I was like, wow, that's weird, but I don't know what that means exactly. No, Jim doesn't want to learn anything more about the growing earth at all. He's heard enough to know that it's too much.
But did the earth pop some Viagra? What's going on?
Oh, there was this. You didn't see that video?
He left, I think.
Oh, okay. So this guy has this theory, all right, that there's continental drift and shift. None of that happens. It's just the Earth growing.
Mm.
And so he has a picture of the Earth was 1/3 of the size it is now, with no oceans. So the water just came from nowhere. Like, I guess that maybe it's like the Earth pissing out the water, and as it's growing, because it's what is it eating? I don't
think
know.
he said there was no water.
The picture had no fucking water. All the land was touching.
At that point, there's no water because all the land is touching, but there's more to the Earth. The Earth.
Where's the water? If the
other
Earth,
side.
if the surface of the Earth right now is 80% water,
Yeah.
and he's saying it's 1/3 the size, and it's all Earth, where did all the water come from?
Jim took in a lot more of this shit than I did because I was just laughing so fucking hard. Like, I don't give a shit about this theory. I never heard it until like the night before. And then you got fucking Dan Blackroyd sending me videos on the back end. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And then I played that one. Dan's like, I thought this was going to be the tame topic. I go, yeah, no shit.
I just like the woo woo crazy shit to have at least something where I can go, I guess. But then it's like, wait, whoa, you're a fucking model of the Earth. There's no water.
Low watermark gifted 5 membership, guys. Thank
Yeah,
you
talk
very
about
much,
a low water mark. There was no water.
No, you need to say. Talk about a high watermark. We got to watch that again, Jim, just to see if he talks about the water somewhere else. But thank you, Low Watermark, for the 5 gifted memberships.
All right, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna drink, and it's gonna get interesting.
Julio, thank you for the 10. Holy shit, we're only $25 away from another fucking theory show, guys.
Yeah, well, people like it.
Like it. I want to get Low Watermark on here to talk about it, even though he doesn't like it or know anything about it. I still like for him to get on here and talk with us.
Well, it's fun, right? It's fun. It's like sitting around the campfire telling stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very interesting. People seem to like it.
Yeah, that the water under, or there's more earth under the water.
yeah, they think that there's large amounts of water under the crust of the earth. So
Yeah, but
there is, but
it's all like frozen and like
exactly.
It's mixed in with the minerals and stuff like that. I watched a whole episode on that on Y-Files.
Yeah,
and he talked about it. I don't know, man. Oh my god.
Oh shit. Oh, this is the best kind of trolling though, Dave. Because
For what?
Because he's giving you money to talk about things.
Look, I like that he goes on my board.
I'm just
for the $25 Low Watermark.
I'm just glad that I have somebody to talk to about it, and it's not just me in the corner talking to myself and the 8 voices in my head.
I've been married 30 years, so now my wife doesn't believe we went to the moon. Thank you. Thank you very much. But she didn't ever think it, to tell you the truth. She's like, I don't think we ever went to the moon.
See, I think we did go to the moon. I just don't think what happened when we got there is what they're saying. I think when they got there, the aliens told them to get the fuck out of here.
I like that audio. That audio they've got captured of the weird songs they found, the weird audio files they picked up when old boy was rotating around the capsule on the backside of the moon. And they're like, what is this? Because, it's a vacuum. There's not going to be any sound, right?
It's not a vacuum.
Yeah. Yeah. You get into it.
That's the thing. They say space is a vacuum. It's not.
What do they say it is? What
it's not a vacuum, no. It's not. Unless I just made it up. I saw it somewhere.
Trust me, bro.
Thank you,
Trust me, bro.
You're on the board again.
Because reasons. Let's see. Is space
I don't know why
a vacuum?
We will find that. Jim loves this stuff, guys. He's so into it.
Space is not a vacuum. It's not a perfect vacuum. There's still atoms in there.
But does that mean that sound travels?
Shit could.
Or
could.
there's the one dude, I can't remember what mission was on, but he reported that he had something tapping on the outside of his vessel when he was out there.
Tap it in.
Tap it in.
Jim, you saw Stargate, right?
Yes.
Somebody put in my comments the other day, just think if the Stargates are true and Atlantis is on another planet.
No, I mean, there could be a Stargate where Atlantis was, and then
what
they
if there's
went
a
there.
Stargate and that's how they got back and forth to Earth, and that's how they spread their knowledge, but they were safe to go back to their home in Atlantis, and we lost the knowledge.
Well,
of the
I mean,
Stargates.
that's kind of, the whole Anunnaki thing ties into that, where they were coming up and down and different things, and maybe the moon was some kind of station or something, and they were traveling. Maybe that's how they traveled here, was on the moon, and then they had to come and get rescued by a ship because the disaster was coming, the flood or whatever. They knew it was coming because some of the theories about this planet X that comes by every 30,000 years, or 26,000, depending on who you believe, that this, now they're saying that there's something out there, that there's a large planetary body outside of the Kuiper belt that we,
Well,
the Anunnaki thought there was 11 planets, right? Or they're 10 planets.
10.
They thought
There's
there
a
were
10th
10.
planet
Right.
X,
Right.
or
and then didn't we just have recently, like within the last 10 years, they had that large, like strange body come into, like, pass through the solar system?
there was some weird thing that was like the shape of a cigar, and nobody could explain it, and it's like it has propulsion, but then they kind of just said no one talked about it anymore.
It just kind of went away.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what is this thing that's slowing down?
It's the thing that they don't want us to know about, right?
I don't know. Something, I mean, this is the thing that should scare everyone, is all these rich motherfuckers are building bunkers.
Yeah. And buying up all the farmland.
Right. Why? Why all of a sudden? They've always been rich.
Yeah.
There's always been rich people. Yeah, people did build bunkers for like nuclear war and stuff, but not like they're building now.
Well, they used to build tornado shelters all over the South. Like, they,
Yeah.
it's the same
That's
thing,
a little
right?
different, though. That's a little different. A tornado shelter is basically just like a culvert you bury in the ground, a round culvert or something. You just dig a hole just to get down there, just to hide with a door.
Not the one we had. It was all bricked out. There was power to it, everything.
Yeah.
It was,
Fancy schmancy Dave over here.
dude,
With
it
the
was in
custom.
Walnut. It was in little Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, just a little shithole town. But
Well,
they
yeah,
had
that was in the good part of the town.
I think Jim's talking about, like,
when you get hit by enough fucking tornadoes, people find the money.
Yeah.
Because when that siren goes off, that's the first place you run, baby. Or you run to the neighbor that's got it.
Yep.
And you have to make a choice. Yes or no, you can come in or not.
But these guys are buying like old decommissioned missile silos and turn them into like underground mansions and shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, like the stuff that Bill Gates is building and Jeff Bezos is insane.
I watched this whole show.
Cities underground.
There's our whole ammunitions. We had a whole like big ammunition station and sent like out in the middle of South Dakota or somewhere out there, and they had all these underground bunkers to store all the guns and the bombs and all that stuff and get them ready to go out to war. And soon as the war ended, they kind of decommissioned the place and it was empty. Now they're converting all those underground bunkers into bunkers. Yep. You can go buy one right now and get it and do your remodeling, and they were fucking cool as hell, dude.
The ammunition bunkers generally are above ground. They're like just a rounded concrete thing with like a door with a door, and they're all over. There's bases all over that have been decommissioned, and they rent those out now, and they're used to store like fireworks and stuff like that. You have to have a bunker like that. An old.
Thank you for the 5, Andrew Rowland. I can believe Atlantis was a real place, but the sinking as a metaphor for its destruction.
Yeah,
it could be.
I can agree. But I think it sank. I think it was in the Azores, and I think there's evidence to support that.
It could have been destroyed by the flood like everybody else.
Well, I think it was a multitude of things. I think it was the flood, but also when the water, the Atlantic Ridge runs right through the Azores, and basically
Mm-hmm.
that would have started shaking and rattling and rolling like crazy. So giant earthquakes and stuff would have happened when the pressures changed, when the ice melted, the ground here is going to move, and then this water coming in, the ocean bottom's going to sink, and so it's going to cause massive disruptions. And basically, because that's what the legend is that it was like shaking earthquakes and everything, and it fell into the ocean. So
Right.
so
Uh,
I believe that.
Speaking of Bill Gates, remember when he literally wanted to release some kind of bomb or container into the atmosphere that would make the entire planet cooler? Yeah. You think that was a gold flake thing? Like for
No, they were talking about using something else, though, not gold flakes. They were talking about using something, silica or something, like something weird to absorb moisture, is what I think they were trying to do, and they thought it would cool the planet.
wow. That's crazy.
I mean, they do actually. There is testing, and they've done where they can release. They've tried it and it's worked. You can look it up to just like try to stop. Like when there was the shit with Trump talking about stopping a hurricane, and they said, well, why couldn't you just put a nuke in the middle of it and just blow it up and get rid of it? And it's like, well, that would work, but you would irradiate everything. It would be like, it would work to stop the hurricane, but you'd have other problems. Right. They do have some kind of. They can put some stuff in that would absorb the water. But the amount of it they would have to do to actually stop the hurricane would cause major problems. It would pollute the oceans, obviously, and be clumps of shit all over.
Is China really seeding the clouds for more rain?
They're doing it with electricity.
Yeah. But there's a theory. There's a theory that all those bad floods they had in Dubai recently.
It was, yeah. They have drones that fly up and shock the. That's another reason why the whole theory about the global electric current or galactic electric current and more electricity coming and the more stuff coming from the sun actually increases rainfall, increases weather more storms and weather, and that it's possible the story about the rain for 40 days and 40 nights was because of a micronova or something that caused it to rain for 40 days and 40 nights because it was just massive increase to the electricity, which excited all the upper atmosphere, causing more clouds, causing more rain.
Tim says there was a viral video of millions of paper-thin pieces of metal floating in the sky.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do that. I mean, their chaff that they use for radar is metal, tiny pieces of metal, aluminum. Not aluminum. Something that reflects, to disrupt the radio waves. But they could, do stuff like that too.
Well, talking about weather changing stuff, have you guys heard about the HARP stuff at all?
Yeah, they've been fucking with that for 50 years now.
Yeah.
But that's not what that is. That's not really what that
is. They claim that is for them to test the upper atmosphere for the changes in the sun and stuff, for like the different effects. They're trying to do it and make the things happen that the sun causes, is what I believe their story is.
Yeah, it's kind of like, like they'll say like on this certain day when a natural disaster hits, HARP was on. Like
they say the same thing about CERN.
Yeah,
they turned CERN on, and all this weird shit happened.
Conspiracy theory, or could it be true? I mean,
well, it could be true, but that makes it a conspiracy theory.
They had that ability to just fucking start a hurricane in the middle of the goddamn desert to wipe out these troops coming at them.
Did you guys hear about So, do you guys know who Sean Ryan is?
I've heard that name.
He's an ex-special operator. I think he might have been a Navy SEAL. I can't remember, but I watch his show. He's a good channel to check out, Sean Ryan, the Sean Ryan Show. But he had a guide on his show that was a plumber down in Antarctica, right? So, and some of his additional duties were he was also like a fire marshal. So he had a key to every part of the facility, so he could, go in and inspect and make sure the facility was safe. And he talks about a directed energy weapon. A plumber, and talks about a directed energy weapon that may have been used to actually start those. They had some sort of test that went wrong, and it might have started the earthquakes in New Zealand that they had, a few years ago. So just more weird shit, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just the more shit they invent, the more people are going to try to make it coincide with stuff, right?
Yeah. And
I mean,
they talk about like a no-fly zone in Antarctica, and this guy points out that it's not a no-fly zone, it's a ceiling that you can't fly below, right? So you can fly over these areas, but you're not allowed to go under a certain altitude over areas of Antarctica.
right.
So,
But they say that flying over Antarctica, that they can't do it. And like you just said, they can do it, but they've also said there's no time saved flying over Antarctica. So why the fuck would they do it? I don't know about that.
Anyway, before the show started, we were talking about the Ripiverse store-wide sale.
Oh yeah. Chat.
But I guess,
Riververse has
but I
a
guess they
store-wide sale.
released. They had a store-wide sale. They sent an email, store-wide sale, 30% off. So I was like, oh, cool! You get the Ira statue for $350, or you could get. But I guess they had to release a list of excluded items, so it's technically not a store-wide sale
Of course.
because it doesn't include any of the Gooding comics or Gooding merch. Doesn't include any of the Yaira comics or Yaira merch. Doesn't include the new graphic novel from Mike Barron with the art. Doesn't include the interior art inks by Will Conrad. Doesn't include Mark Evans cover D for $18. It doesn't include the statue from the Yaira statue. So I guess when they say store-wide sale, they really mean select items are on sale. And basically what they mean by select items, it's a ISOM 2, and a Alpha Core sale, I guess.
Right. Why wouldn't Yaira be part of this? I get Gooding, and I get not the Yaira statue. Okay. But Yaira's out. It's done. Like, get rid of that shit. What does it include? Everything we hate, Dan. You mean I can still get a fucking an ISOM shirt for, but that's not even the cheapest price it's ever been, because ISOM books were going for $5 last year, but now they're 30% off of 35. So I'm still paying,
and also, I don't know if anyone noticed, but they announced that the Yaira statue is going to be delivered in Q5 of 2025. So it may never be delivered because that doesn't exist.
yeah.
Does it say Q5?
Yeah, I got it right here. You want to see it?
That's crazy, man.
It does not.
No
it does.
What?
See right here.
I guess they added a few months to the Gregorian calendar to make their ends.
In case you missed it, we have a 1/6 Yaira statue shipping Q4 2024 to Q5 2025. Pre-orders are live. Unless they were saying it's going to be before the end of 2025. Because it says Q4 2024 to
that's
Q5.
not what that means. That's not what that means. Q4 is,
the end of fiscal year 2024, but there is no Q5 2025. So
did they respond to your answer or your question?
No, I said, did you mean Q1? Because there's only 4 quarters in a year. No. So I don't know.
Holy shit.
And because I posted on there,
Even the Mayans knew there was only 4 quarters.
Yeah, they were announcing this, and I had got the email, and I read it. I didn't see any exclusions on the email. So I said, that's awesome. I just got the email, and it's 30% off store-wide, so I can grab me a Yaira statue for $150 off. Someone said, there's a list of exclusions. The statue's included.
Oh, well. A list. How about this is a fucking ISOM and Alpha Core sale. Come get your shit. That
excluded from our epic 2-year anniversary sale are the Gooding collection, Yaira, exclusive comic bundles, the newest graphic model. I mean, all this shit. It's like, just say it's a sale on the shit that's over a year old. The shit we got sitting that no one bought, we want to give you 30% off.
So there's another artwork book coming out?
Yeah, another artwork work by industry titan Mike Barron.
Well, no, that's our newest graphic novel is Gooding from Mike Barron with the interior work by Will Conrad.
Well, this is saying excluded. It says Gooding, Yaira, our newest graphic novel. It's confusing.
Right, because
it was written by retards.
Gooding comes out the 29th. Yeah, this is just it's Gooding.
And Yaira, campaign bundles.
Also, our Todd McFarlane Yaira statues are also excluded from this sale.
I mean, if you say Yaira Comics, yeah. So maybe not Yaira merch, except for the statue. Maybe they're not discounting the Yaira Comics, but they are discounting the Yaira merch.
No, they're not. It says excluded from our Epic Ripaverse 2-year anniversary sale are the brand new items that are part of the Gooding, the Polymath collection, Yaira Comics, and our exclusive campaign bundle.
But then why did they add the thing about the statue on the bottom?
Also, our Todd, because
that's what I'm saying. It's very confusing reading their fucking letter.
Well, they made sure they said comics up top for Yaira, and at the bottom they also said the Yaira statues. So, in other words, it's a stupid fucking sale because Yaira's out. It should be Gooding in the statue that's out of the sale. I don't understand it. I mean, he's still got a bunch of books laying around from Yaira that he's got to try to get rid of. Terrence Howard. Yeah. EJ should hire Terrence Howard to be a social media manager. Why is Terrence Howard funny on social media?
No,
Jim?
he was on Joe Rogan recently.
He was on Joe Rogan with what's Brett Weinstein or one of the Weinsteins talking, and I mean he seems like a guy who's he's actually, I think, a polymath.
Yeah.
But has he given up on acting?
No, he's self-taught.
I mean, has he done with Hollywood? Did they say that, or?
No,
I don't know. He said he got canceled or something. There was something happened. He got canceled. Was that when he stopped? Was that when he got taken off of the Iron Man, or was that later with Empire?
He got canceled?
He said he got canceled. Some accusations about something.
That's funny.
Yeah, he said that 1 × 1 = 2.
Yeah, well, there's some kind of, and then, but the thing that kind of bothered me because I'm just an idiot, was that the guy, the professor guy, Weinstein's like, well, you see, 2 is special because of whatever rule they was like, this doesn't make sense, or some kind of math rules. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, so I don't know. But he was trying to explain. He's like, well, yeah, it's just because you have to, like whatever rules, some about some kind of square root to this and the square root of 2, something. I don't understand it. It was over my head, but it sounded almost like he had a point to what he was saying.
Yeah, a ghost of what's that? Geraldus?
Gerolitis.
Terrence Howard claims to have fixed math.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was broken, but I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to listen.
Bill Gates fixed math too, and he's forcing that stupid math in public schools. It's ridiculous. Immortal says, I don't see the discount. It doesn't start till the 11th, Immortal. It's July 11th. So you got to wait 2 days. It's your 2-day warning. Imagine that. You're having a 30% sale off and you give your fans 2 days notice. How about like a week? Let people, because it's only 24 hours.
Well, technically, honestly, you shouldn't tell anybody if you really want to make money. Because if you tell people the farther in advance that you're going to have the sale, nobody's buying anything before that time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, it's probably not moving anyway. So I don't know. I don't know if 30% is going to,
I would think, honestly, that's stuff from ISOM 1 or ISOM 2 or Alpha Core. Probably should be 50% off if you want to move it.
I mean, especially ISOM, right?
But I don't know. They said they had some special rare items that they're going to try to sell. Probably those items that they said they had a limited number of before and they sold out of. Then all of a sudden they found more of them.
Oh, I wonder if are the CG books available still, or are they all sold?
I don't know.
Right.
So I thought there was like a very limited number. Was that what it was? The CGC books that they said they had a limited number, but then all of a sudden they found more of them, more rated books or something.
Well, that was for Alpha Core for sure. Or Yaira. Yeah.
One of them they found more of.
Right. Baseball. Yeah, it's fucking stupid, man. Oh my God. I guess though, given 30% off is cheaper than taking the complete write off, he'll still make some money.
Yeah, trying to recoup some of his losses.
Yeah. You got to do something. All right. So let's check out this. Let's check out this video, guys. Cryptids from every state. Now, there's probably gonna be a lot of pausing chat just so we can talk about it. And let's see. Share screen. So here we go. I don't know who this is. His name is Trust Me Bro, which is kind of a funny name if that's what his channel is all about, Jim, is just like conspiracy theory stuff. Trust me, bro. It's probably real. So let's see what he has to say.
To America. Alabama. One of the most famous cryptids in Alabama is known as the White Thang, or the White Thang of Alabama. Suppose
The White Thang. I have never heard of that one. Have you, Jim?
No.
All right. How about you, Wode?
No, this is new to me.
The White Thang.
I'll be interested to see what the description is.
I'd like to know when this thing fucking was,
It's
found.
Is it possible that
the White Thang
that the White Thang is just something that some certain group of people came up with a name for because
I don't know.
they were people. It was back when people with wearing sheets rode horses with torches. Run from the White Thang.
Good point.
I don't know. Okay.
Last son of OK says the White Thang equals Cody Dennison.
White Thang, you make my nose rang.
Oh Lord.
I snort you everything.
It's like
is the
cocaine
most famous cryptid from Alabama. The creature has been spotted throughout the 1990s, and the local news WAFF 48 has published articles discussing it. One of the articles discussed how the White Thang and the Sasquatch are different, but how they may be potentially distantly related. Oh, yeah, and if you can tell by the pictures on screen, White Thang is essentially just a big Bigfoot, but he's white, hence the name, Alaska. One of the most...
Okay, so there's our first one that's like a Bigfoot, right? We should keep a tally on this because I guarantee you, probably more than 50% will be related to that. So
I think that's what it is. It's a bunch of Bigfoots that they just call a different name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, it's like when we get to Florida, I'm sure they'll talk about the skunk apes, and that's supposed to be a variant,
Mm-hmm. God damn it. Just fucking play.
most interesting cryptids from Alaska is known as Tizarok, and it is believed to be a sea serpent reported from the subarctic coastal waters of King and Nunavut Islands in the
I've never heard of that.
Nope.
I have never heard of that. Have you heard of that, Jim? How about chat?
No.
No, it's not going to take that long. Julio Scissors. I'm not going to be here that long today. I got to get up early tomorrow. But I've never heard of the Tizarok. What is that?
Well, I heard of the Tesseract. It was this item in Marvel. There was this blue thing that there was a space stone or something that they used to get power, and it caused like Avengers, and Loki came to get it, and it was weird. So that's in Alaska. Wow.
Bering Sea off the Pacific coast of Alaska. People that have claimed to see Tizarok typically claim to either only see their head and neck or occasionally the tail. Therefore, the general form of this animal is unknown, but it can allegedly rise out of the water almost 7 to 8 feet. Its head is snake-like and its tail is flippered, but the Tesseract has also been described as a giant caterpillar or worm-like creature. This is essentially the Loch Ness Monster of Alaska. There isn't really much known about this creature, but I thought it would be more interesting than another Bigfoot variant, just so this list isn't full of them. Arizona, the Mogollon Monster. The Mogollon Monster is commonly described as a large bipedal creature, which means it walks on 2 feet.
It's got a Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah. Mogollon. That's pretty funny.
Maybe that's Mongolian monster, Mogollon.
2 penises, but it turns out he's not that cool. It's also described as being over 7 feet tall with large red eyes. Its body is said to be covered with long black or reddish brown hair with the exclusion of hair on its chest, face, feet, or hands. Reports claim it also has a strong pungent odor like dead fish.
So it has no hair on its hands, feet, and chest. That's
I don't know.
pretty
I have a
wild.
feeling somebody just ran into a bum.
Yeah.
A 7-foot bomb.
7-foot bum. Yeah.
A bum. You know,
Yeah.
you like Sam Squamch.
Well, it's like
What's up, low watermark. How are you, buddy?
Hey guys, how are you doing tonight?
Could not resist this conversation, huh? This is awesome.
nice. Well,
Oh,
it's
it
like-
is. It's amazing. I mean, it's just everything I always thought it would be. And here's Jim saying, all the stuff he's saying. So
Well, they called out that Alaska creature, right? I'm sure there's never been a humpback whale that's breached the water, 7 feet and looked like something scary,
Right. I lived in the Aleutian Islands up in Alaska, and I never heard of this creature. But like the one in Alabama is from 1990, so that's not a very old cryptid, right, Jim? Some of these, a lot of the, like Bigfoot's been a story since before the Indians got to America. Like
Yeah.
that's part of their lore. So,
and they would refer to him as the wild man or the hairy man.
mm-hmm. So. They said this guy, this Magulian monster or whatever, he stinks. That's funny.
Which
Fish, skunk,
if you
bad
look at
body.
the Bigfoot reports, a lot of them are accompanied by a strong smell.
well,
could
and Eric
imagine.
July says that Riley smells just like that. So I think Riley is clearly related to Bigfoot because Eric July said so.
He's
So
a
there you
very
go.
small Bigfoot.
Exactly a small, tiny Bigfoot.
Yeah, maybe he's got like size 14 feet. We don't know. Maybe
He could. His girlfriend has size 14 anyways.
Maybe one day we'll never hear of Riley again
yeah.
because he finally grew up and he's big enough to join the tribe, and he learned, the ways of the humans and how to troll people, and he can go teach the Bigfoots how they control people.
Big feet.
Yes. All right. So Evil Penguin says, look up Stan Gordon. Was Unsolved Mysteries, Western PA expert on Bigfoot and Kecksburg UFO crash in 1965. Huh. Kecksburg UFO crash. Where's that one at, Jim? Kecksburg? I don't know about that one from 1965.
Never heard of it.
There's something on Wiki about Kecksburg UFO incident.
Well, we got to look up Stan Gordon then. I'm going to write him down. Do you pay attention to any of the UFO stuff, low watermark?
No, not really.
No. You think we're all alone out here?
No, I don't necessarily think that. I just don't think that people who are dramatically more advanced than us would bother talking to any of us. So, hey,
Yeah.
they could buy Rippaverse comics. So,
That's true. But maybe they're not really wanting to interact, but sometimes their ships just don't survive.
I bet they fly by Earth and lock the fucking doors.
Yeah.
like a bad neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, go on in fucking invisibility mode, boys. We don't want these idiots to see us. We're going to keep those guys in the dark age forever. We're not going to let them know that we're on all these planets around them doing commerce every day. It's under a big invisibility shield. That'd be fucking funny, dude. That would be the funniest shit ever.
The odor, or even decaying peat moss, or the musk of a snapping turtle. Some people claim that the creature is allegedly nocturnal, omnivorous, and territorial, and sometimes violent. In numerous reports, the monster has been said to emit a blood-curdling scream, described as sounding like a woman in great distress. The Mogollon monster is also known as the Arizona Bigfoot, and is really just...
All right. 3
Yeah.
states, 2
That's
Bigfoots.
That's another commonality with Bigfoot reports of the woman screaming type sound.
Well, we heard those tapes, right?
Yeah, and then if you get a chance sometime, look up I can't remember, his last name is Moorhead. I can't remember his first name, but he's got the Sierra sounds. That's a good one to look up.
Right.
It's
Just an
yeah.
interesting variant of Bigfoot with very similar qualities. Arkansas, the White River Monster. An urban legend in Arkansas is known as the White River Monster, and it's a large creature reportedly first spotted off the banks of the White River near Newport, Arkansas. The White River Monster is reported as having gray skin and as wide as a car and as long as 3 cars. And as news reports spread about this monster, the city began construction on a huge rope and net, but the program actually ended due to a lack of materials and funding. The creature was first spotted in 1915 and is even believed to have an impact on the Civil War. During the Civil War, the White River was used often for transportation, and the monster is supposedly blamed for overturning a boat. The monster was notably spotted again in 1937 and 1971, and there's over 100 confirmed sightings from 1915 to present day. Basically, one of your run-of-the-mill interesting river cryptids. California.
Well, goddamn.
Hmm.
I used to live in Newport, Arkansas. I never heard of the White River Monster. That's actually a fun one. Like, it sounds like a giant catfish.
Yeah.
Because catfish get giant, man.
Yeah.
But they don't really come up to the top and knock shit out.
No.
When they're that big, they just sit around the bottom and just, suck shit off the bottom of the floor of the river or whatever, hang out by, dams or whatever, and just get fatter and bigger. I've had divers come, we sell equipment that divers use. I'll be talking to them. They say, yeah, dude, when that water's real dirty and you look up on a catfish and he's like 400 pounds, you go, holy shit.
Yeah. Up in Idaho, there's I can't remember the name of the stupid lake, but it's a reservoir, and they have to go down and do the inspections on the dam, right? So they have to look at the foundations. And there's dudes down there, and they'll come up all shook because they like shine their lights around. They just see this huge eye, and it's some ancient sturgeon down there, right? Because sturgeon get pretty freaking big too.
Sure. Yeah. And they're not aggressive. They're just laying there like, yeah, dude, go on. Let's see.
The Dark Watchers. I actually have mentioned the Dark Watchers before on my channel, but I like them, so I'm going to mention them again. Oh, and the video I talked about them in is Scariest Mythical Creatures from Around the World, Part 3. The Dark Watchers are tall, sometimes giant-sized, featureless dark silhouettes often seen wearing brimmed hats or even carrying walking sticks. They're only seen during sunrise or sunset, and they are motionless, watching travelers from the horizon, typically seen along the Santa Lucia mountain range. The legend states that no one has been able to see them up close, and if you approach them, they vanish. These are harmless cryptids, and some believe they are simply a reminder that you are not alone in these woods and to respect nature and your surroundings, or to be aware at all times. They serve as...
I think I've heard of them before, Jim.
The Hat Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of creepy.
Yeah, there's some good videos out there about the Hat Man, and it's not necessarily restricted to being seen out in the wilds. People are seeing these things like in their homes and stuff.
Yeah, that's like that paranormal stuff, right? That could
like
be
shadow
paranormal
people.
or cryptid, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my wife and son loves that paranormal shit, the ghost hunter stuff. I'm like, God, this is so bad. Stop watching this. It's terrible.
Some of it's so damn staged. You're like, oh my God, come on.
You don't watch any of that shit, do you, Low Watermark?
No, not usually.
Ghost hunters. Give me a break. Yeah, I thought, they sound more like a ghost, right? In motto. But I'm sure, I mean, at least California he doesn't throw
as more or less of a gentle warning, and although creepy, I think they're pretty
Bigfoot in
cool.
there.
Colorado, Slide Rock Bolter. Slide Rock Bolter is a really strange cryptid from lumberjack folklore, primarily during the 19th and 20th centuries. It is a creature that is believed to live in the mountains of Colorado, but only on mountains with a slope at an angle greater than 45 degrees. It has a huge head, small eyes, a big mouth, and a tail similar to a dolphin with big grab hooks. The best way to describe this cryptid is honestly just a big land whale that slides down mountains to eat people. This creature is said to have caused great unease amongst tourists visiting the mountains of Colorado, and it will often remain motionless for days at a time until groups of tourists walk by its path. At that point, it will release its hooks from the top of the mountain and slide down the mountain to gulp up the entire group of tourists, or at least so the legend goes. This is definitely an interesting cryptid, but it's kind of funny. And if you plan...
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Slide Rock Bolter? That sounds like bullshit. Okay, that sounds like complete bullshit. Like, That sounds like locals wanting to keep the fucking tourists out of their goddamn woods. Let's keep the Californians out of here and make up this crazy cryptid.
There's a meth head up in the mountains, and his name is Bolter.
I mean, oh my God. Are we serious here? Oh my God. Watermark. There's a giant thing that looks like a fish out of water, right? That's sliding down the mountain to eat. It doesn't move for days, just waiting for tourists. Holy shit.
But it gets them all once they're there.
Gotta catch them all.
Hey, there's our missing 411 right there. Explained. The slide rock bolter gets them all.
Solved.
Yeah.
Plan on going to the mountains of Colorado soon, make sure you get your protractor out to make sure the angle is less than 45 degrees. Or at least look out for any whale-looking things up the mountain. Connecticut, the melon heads. The melon heads are actually a folklore that exists in Ohio, Michigan, and Connecticut, but for this segment, we're only going to be focusing on the ones in Connecticut. The melon heads are described as small humanoid beings with bulbous heads who occasionally emerge from hiding places and attack people. That's the basic gist. But in Connecticut specifically, according to one telling of the myth, Fairfield County was the location of an asylum for the criminally insane that burned down in the fall of 1960, resulting in the death of all of the staff and most of the patients, except for 10 to 20 inmates unaccounted for, which supposedly had survived and escaped into the woods. The legend states that the melonheads' appearance is a result of them resorting to cannibalism in order to survive the harsh winters in the region, and
Melonheads?
which caused their
Connecticut
heads
melonheads.
to swell up
Wow.
and deform. Less of a cryptid, more of like a fairy tale, mythical creature thing. If I haven't made it obvious yet, I'm kind of using the terms interchangeably. But yeah, that's the melonheads. Definitely strange.
Never heard of that.
Nope.
I've called somebody a melon head before,
Yeah,
but
unless
I
it's
didn't
a
know that
Saturday
was.
Night
Yeah,
Live skit or
exactly.
something. Yeah. That's crazy. The melon heads. All right. Here we go.
Strange. Delaware, the Pukwudgie. If there's any Exploring with Josh fans watching this video, you might be familiar with the Pukwudgie. Pukwudgies are mythical creatures with shape-shifting abilities, also known for luring people to their deaths.
Looks like a fucking Pokemon.
Yeah.
Why do they always look like that?
I
I mean,
don't
they're
know.
so scary. Oh,
This goes in line with a lot of Native American folklore about the little people of the forest.
Yeah.
So they're smaller. So this would kind of fall into the categories that you see, like in Alaska. There's a lot of legends about the little people. So
Damn, this is kind of like George R. R. Martin's lore video we were watching last night, Jim.
yep.
Little fairy people in the woods living with the giants and all that shit. And Motto says, didn't he train Luke?
Yeah. Drop you down a hole, I will.
Using magic and attacking people with poison arrows. They may seem initially friendly, but they turn hostile towards humans. Legend warns against annoying them while they are being friendly, as they retaliate with mischief and harm. Pukwudgie itself roughly translates to little man of the woods that vanishes. And as far as appearance goes, looks like a human-like creature, albeit much shorter, much hairier, and sometimes seen either naked or with very primal-esque clothing. So if you're ever in Delaware or even live in Delaware, make sure you watch out for little elf-looking mischievous little guys in the woods. Florida, the muck monster. In late August of 2009, two members of
That's not we thought it was.
Watch
we
out
heard-
Watch out for Bidens in that neck of the woods. Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure.
Little Bidens.
You seen it, Jim? Heard of the muck monster in Florida?
No,
That's
I've heard. Yeah,
that's the cryptid he picked. So I think he's really trying to do a good job of not making it all Bigfoot. So
of a nonprofit called Lagoon Keepers were attempting to remove what they thought were a log from the Lake Worth Lagoon in Palm Beach, Florida. That log proceeded to give the two nonprofit members a runaround of the entire lake, diving deep whenever the boat came within 10 feet of it. During the chase, one of the men called this monster the elusive muck monster, and the other man filmed the encounter and put it online. The news picked up the story, and the city quickly took note and did almost everything they could to profit off of the situation. T-shirts were sold, specialty drinks were made in bars, and the city even installed viewfinders along the water. The only real visual that we have on this creature is its wood-like appearance from part of its back poking through the water briefly, which to me seems similar to a snapping turtle, but who knows? So anyways, this creature did end up being pretty good publicity and a decent boost in tourism, which is kind of funny. But as far as the cryptid goes, there's not much information. Georgia, Ultimahaha, or Alti. Basically just the Loch Ness
Ultima Haha. This is Loch Ness, man.
Yeah.
We got a lot of water.
Where is it? Lake Titicaca? At Ultima Haha?
Ultima
It's the-
Haha.
Highest altitude lake in the world.
Sounds to me like that previous one in Florida, the Muck Muck Monster. He said there's a video about it. They recorded the whole thing. That's the Muck Monster. Okay.
I'll have to
Monster
check that one
of
out.
Georgia.
Yeah.
It's believed to live in small streams and abandoned rice fields, and sightings are few and far between. There's not a ton of information about this besides the fact that it's extremely similar to the Loch Ness Monster, supposedly. But yeah, this one's kind of uninspired. Moving on. Hawaii. Menehune. Okay, this one's actually cool. Menehune are essentially small dwarves that live in the valleys and rural areas of Hawaii, hidden far, far away from human settlements. The Menehune are also described as superb craftspeople, building temples, fish ponds, roads, canoes, and houses. Some of these structures that Hawaiian folklore attributed to the Menehune existing. They were said to be in Hawaii before settlers from Polynesia migrated many centuries ago. Their favorite food is banana, but they also like fish. Legend has it is that the Menehune only appear during night, and that is when they spend their hours crafting masterpieces. Not much more is known about the Menehune, but I think they're pretty cool dudes. They're just doing their thing, living in a cool place, building cool stuff. You can't hate that. Good job, Hawaii. That's a cool cryptid, or folklore, or mythical creature, or...
Do they have any pictures of the structures they built? Though that'd be cool. The Menehune.
It's
They
another-
sound like little elves that
Yeah.
makes Christmas toys for Santa.
more little people, type thing.
Yeah, and that's another, like they say that one in Georgia is in rice fields or shallow water,
Hmm.
so it's probably not that big, right? I mean, if it's trying to stay hidden, rice doesn't get that tall, and small streams aren't that deep, so could just be that weird thing in the water that we've just never seen before because there's so much shit in the water we've never ever seen. We just can't go deep enough.
Whatever. Idaho. Charlie. Charlie, much like Alti, is basically just a Loch Ness Monster dupe, not worth mentioning. Sorry, Idaho. Do better. I honestly thought they would have some sort of potato monster.
Nice.
Maybe they do, but I didn't see it. Illinois. The Enfield Horror. This creature is described as having 3 legs, a short body, 2 short arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stands at 4.5 feet tall and is grayish in color. It's definitely a gross and droopy looking creature, and it's honestly pretty creepy as well. Its first sighting was in the early 1970s in the small town of Enfield, Illinois, hence the name. During one of the first sightings, a very convincing story got out and got media attention, and this caused a lot of hunters to become excited about the prospect of finding and killing the Enfield Horror. For a while, tourists
What
traveled and
the
hunters began
fuck?
hunting, both looking for this gray creature in the woods. All of these hunts were unsuccessful, and as the hunting and tourism enthusiasm died down, 4 more sightings were reported since. Indiana, Mesha
The Enfield Horror.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's some stories about there. I think one of the stories talks about folks living out in the sticks in Illinois. It chased his kids back to his house, and they could see it out in the yard or whatever, based on the account that I saw.
3-legged monster, though.
Yeah,
The hell's the point of a third leg?
maybe it wasn't a leg.
Ooh. Ooh. Well. Oh boy.
Were a lot of these given their names by Native Americans?
Well, Enfield is just a town in Illinois.
No, I'm saying like the name of these, like Meshishwaki and Ahakakadaka.
I would assume
Yeah.
so.
And he's actually saying like it's kind of like folklore, stuff too. So, so like the Hawaii stuff, he said that was like part of their folklore, and they were there before the natives ever got to the island. He didn't say anybody's ever saw him though.
Mesha Kennebec, also known as the Manitou Monster, is an Indiana cryptid that is said to live in Lake Manitou for over centuries, being spotted by Native Americans and early settlers. By those who have seen it, it's been described as 60 feet long with the head of a bull with a serpent body. It is more or less of your run-of-the-mill lake monster, but it wasn't an exact ripoff of the Loch Ness Monster, so I thought I'd give it a bit more attention. Pretty cool, and the Native American ties are always interesting because their folklore is great, but that's about all I got. Iowa. Van Meter monster. The Van Meter monster is reported to be a 9-foot-tall winged bat-like creature, also known as the Van Meter visitor. This creature was said to shoot light from its horns and is immune to bullets. Witnesses made plaster casts of its 3-toed footprints after confrontation. The creature has been seen disappearing into a nearby coal mine, and similar sightings have continued up until the 2010s. Today, there is even a commemorative event, and it's held around the anniversary of the sightings. Pretty cool. I like that it gets the community together. It seems scary. Kind of reminds me of Mothman. 8 out of 10. Let's keep going.
9-foot bat monster. That would be
That would scare the fuck out of me, dude.
Yeah. So it's interesting too because West Virginia, that's where they've got Mothman, and what do they have? What kind of mines they have a lot of in West Virginia? Coal mines.
Right, coal mines. Low watermark. You walk up on a 9-foot bat. What are you going to do?
Punt.
and it's immune to bullets. Like, oh shit.
They just haven't tried a big enough bullet yet.
Yeah, they need to get that armor-piercing bullet out, right?
Yeah.
This video is kind of evolving, so now it's more. Now I'm just ranking these guys. Okay, if I lose any more brain cells, this might just end up being a tier list. Kansas. Deer Woman. Deer Woman, or sometimes known as Deer Lady, is a spirit from Native American mythology. She can be seen in 2 forms, either a beautiful young woman with deer feet or just a deer. And her general vibe can kind of shift depending on the context of who she's dealing with, but for the most part, she has her sights set on men who have harmed women and children, and to them, she is vengeful and murderous, typically known for luring these men to their death. Overall, Deer Woman's got a pretty cool vibe. Good job, Kansas. Kentucky. The Pope Lick Monster. Yeah, you heard that right. We're already off to a weird start. The Pope Lick Monster. Unfortunately, this monster is not known for licking the Pope, but it doesn't get much better. Pope Lick Monster, or more commonly known as Goat Man, is a legendary part man, part goat, and even part sheep creature, reported to live beneath the railroad that goes over Pope Lick Creek in Fisherville, Louisville, Kentucky.
I've seen this before, man. I watched a whole episode about this thing, and
Yeah.
the area is actually fucking like.
I always thought the
Gated.
hill people was who you should be afraid of in Kentucky.
Well, yeah.
Fucking hill people will get you.
Yeah, that I think this whole area, like, people have died in. They found, dead people there.
Well, you talk about missing 411 stuff. There's a shitload of cave systems in that area. So, and a lot of the people in the missing 411 go missing where there's a large amount of cave systems.
Mm-hmm. Even on at our national parks and stuff. Yeah. Man, the caves are cool, but the caves that have a guided tour are the ones I'm going to. I'm not going to be no fucking cave diver, low watermark. Screw that.
Yeah, you don't want to end up under without air and so forth.
Dude.
You saw recently that dude got trapped and they couldn't extract him, and he just fucking they just left him because they couldn't do anything to get him out.
They all get trapped. My God. You turn upside down, you can't swim anywhere. And why do people put themselves in such ridiculous situations where they're going to die?
No,
They
thank you.
squeeze through a little fucking 12-inch gap. They squeeze their bodies through there, and they're like, dude, what are you doing, man? Why? And then, like you said, they try and try and try to get these people out. It's not like they try for an hour. They try for a month. They're bringing them food, all this stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, dude, you're going to die. Yeah, because even if I get you out now, your legs haven't moved. And once you stand up and all that blood starts rushing, you're dead, dude. It's over, Johnny. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
About the Goatman claim that it uses hypnosis and voice mimicry to lead trespassers on its bridge either onto the tracks in the way of a oncoming train or to below the bridge where it can attack them with a blood-stained axe. Typically, Goatman would make its voice sound like the voice of either someone else or even potentially someone familiar to you, making you want to see who's talking to you and where they are. Some legends state that Goatman is so vengeful because he was treated so poorly during his lifetime for being such a different creature, at least different by human standards.
It was a social experiment, low watermark.
Oh, did I say that out loud? Oh, sorry, Dave. I did not mean to say that word.
You didn't say it loud enough.
No.
Good Lord. Good Lord. Oh, how is that? I'm looking at that picture you sent me, Low Watermark. How do you like that?
It actually not bad. I mean, I may have said it wasn't great, but it's actually pretty good. I mean, I was just going through the store, when you look at the shelves, I couldn't find any of the things you sent me, because they never have the stuff. And I
Mhm.
saw this. It was on that shelf where there's $99 stuff and $49 stuff. Hey, that's pretty good. And it ended up being pretty good. So
It's like a $49 bottle, right?
yeah. that's
Oh,
all
you're
it
talking
is.
about liquor. At first, I was confused. I'm like, what the fuck kind of store is he at? What is he buying? Talking about
Why is he
pictures.
buying it? Oh my God, it's terrible. Somebody
Oh.
kicked Jim. Oh my God.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. You guys talk. I'll be right back.
So, Jim, you didn't get kicked the other night. There I
I
was
know.
last night saying, Dave, kick Jim, kick Jim, kick Jim, kick Jim. And nobody did. Oh my God. Terrible. And Jim is keying in like security codes.
No.
Like, what are you keying in there, Jim?
I was just sending a message on another chat that I'm monitoring in the background.
Yeah, 63 other chats. And I've been on like 12 of them myself.
Oh, I
so-
saw you.
Yeah. I send a little something here and there.
You could have been a little more poignant.
Do you think I could have?
A little bit.
I might have said that the people were
You,
idiots.
you were
Maybe
you were very polite.
too polite.
Too polite sometimes, Low Watermark. You're just too polite. You're too gentlemanly.
Exactly.
I've never heard so many fucks come out of a woman's mouth listening to this stream. Oh my God.
What stream?
Oh, I sent it. I put it in the private. I don't want to mention it on, but
Okay.
oh my God.
So, Low Watermark, yesterday I was at the store and they had this in, right? the
Oh
pure
yeah, you got
Kentucky.
that. Yeah. You ordered like 3 bottles of that or something.
No, I got it. Yeah, I got it. No, it was at the store here. But sitting right next to it was this.
Oh,
Yep. So it's the same company. It's just a different.
Okay.
This is a
Yep.
small batch
Kentucky
Kentucky
bourbon. Yep.
vintage. So can't wait to try that.
Yeah, I got to try the other one. I mean, like I said, there was only the one ever in the 3 liquor stores that are near me. So
Mhm.
I hope Pure Kentucky will come back someday.
I think sometimes if you talk to the guy, he'll get it for you too. I can order that in. Like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like at the store I go to, they go, if you don't see it, we can order it for you. But yeah, I'll take my chances on what you got. That's half the fun. All right, so let's see what he says.
Some legends state that Goatman is simply a reincarnation of a farmer who made a deal with the devil. Either way, he's definitely strange looking. And if you're passing by a bridge in Pope Lake, Kentucky, don't lick the Pope, don't go under the bridge, don't go over the bridge, and if you hear somebody you think you know, you don't. Get out of there. Louisiana. Fille Fouillée. To describe what you're looking at, let me give you a bit of context. The story of Fille Fouillée starts in Acadia. Legend states that there was a blacksmith named Will Smith. No, not Will Smith, Will Smith. And when Will Smith died and went up to heaven, he was given a second chance at life. But that second life he lived was not a good one. Unfortunately, he chose to do evil this time around. Because of this, the second time he died, the devil doomed him to live on earth forever with only a single coal to warm him. That is why this cryptid or spirit is only really seen as a dimly lit orb in the distance. There is typically no figure associated with this creature. Fille Fouillée spends his time in the swamps of southern Louisiana trying to lure people out deep into the swamp to their death. It is advised that anybody near the swamp at night avoid following any strange dim lights in the distance, as the ending is never truly good.
Oh, by the way, chat, the name of this channel is called Trust Me, Bro. Give this, a follow. Give him a follow. I think he talks about a lot of this stuff. It doesn't sound like he takes it overly serious. He's just talking about it, which is how I like it. Wood Warrior, yeah.
I'm really surprised he went with this one because the one that I'm most familiar with, have you guys ever heard the term the Rougarou?
Mm-mm.
So the Rougarou is basically another form of like a dog man. So, but they're not sure if it's a person like that changes shape or what, but there's lots of stories about that. And it's tied to like voodoo and that kind of shit. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it kind of seems like he's trying to not go with the mainstream ones,
Yeah.
which
I-
is
I li-
cool.
I like that he's trying to add some variety. But hey, do you know, like, you look like it just like in how folklore influences media, right? So think of like the swamps in Lord of the Rings with the lights and trying to entice people into the water and everything. It's kind of, that basically they were traveling through a swamp when they were seeing those lights in the water. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of subs. He's got 260,000 subs, and cool. Good for him, man.
Maine, Kawakwa. Kawakwa is a cryptid from Abenaki folklore from northeastern United States, specifically Maine. The creature is described as a giant, cannibalistic, half-animal, half-human creature that roamed the forests of present-day New England in ancient times. The Kawakwa is described as being a former human whose heart turned to ice, either because of evil spirit possession or because they committed a crime that was truly dreadful, like cannibalism. The only sensation the Kawakwa is able to feel is an insatiable hunger, and their existence is pretty pitiful. They are no longer claimed to exist, so there is no risk to you or me, but if you have a time machine and go back to ancient times and decide to go
Hey!
to New England of all places,
Yeah.
look out for the Kawakwa.
It's
may
Damon!
wanna-
It was Damon Targaryen.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Matt Smith.
Well, I'm going to go back 10 seconds.
I think it looks like man bear pig to me, but what do I
Yeah.
know?
Well, if depending on what kind of folklore you listen to, that's the eating of human flesh is involved with the Wendigo and the Skinwalker legend. So
Nice.
claimed to exist, so there is no risk to you or me, but if you have a time machine and go back to ancient times and decide to go to New England of all places, look out for the Kawakwa. It may want to eat you. And by may want to eat you, I mean he will lick and nibble you from head to toe. Maryland. Chessie. Can you guess what this creature is going to be? Did you guess another Loch Ness Monster type creature? Could you guess because the name is completely uninspired? Well, congratulations, you have a functioning brain. Chessie, not to be confused with Nessie as in the Loch Ness Monster, as in the cool one, is a reptilian type creature that is reported to be either black or brown that has been seen as early as 1936 in the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. Not going to go too deep on this one, pretty uninspired. Loch Ness Monster clone, Salmonella clone. Sorry, Maryland. Let's keep going. Massachusetts, Thunderbirds.
Serpent of
The
color.
Thunderbird is a
Serpent of color.
so diversity among the Loch Ness monsters.
Of course, Maryland would have to do it too, right?
Hey, Dave, have you guys seen that Shane Davis's channel came back, right?
Yeah, that chat said it tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. And Ethan is sending a massive order of
McDonald's.
McDonald's orders to Shane. Oh God, it's probably like $1,000 worth of McDonald's burgers and fries and stuff.
Why is he doing that?
Well, because he does that, Got to feed Shane,
Okay, but holy shit, $1,000 worth of.
No, I'm guessing at that. But you
Right.
saw when he did like a giant spread of the stuff, and Shane had to go out and pick it all up and take it in.
To be fair, in today's economy, $1,000 in McDonald's probably isn't all that much.
Yeah, it's probably.
Didn't he send him like
3
75
burgers
hot
and a
dogs
couple of
one
fries.
night?
Yeah, he did. Just 75 hot dogs. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, that's cool. Anyways, it's just interesting that Shane got his channel back and all's right with the world, and John Malin saying thoughtful but get off my lawn. So good stuff.
That's
Right. It's very crazy. Thanks, Jesse. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for joining the channel. That's awesome. You're just here to watch people laugh at weird shit. So here we go. I hate YouTube when it does
legendary
that, man.
creature, especially if you're a North American indigenous person who's really into art and culture. The Thunderbird is considered to be a supernatural being with supernatural power and strength. A Thunderbird can be best described as a very large eagle with supernatural powers. Some of those powers being the ability to create thunder by simply flapping its wings, and also the ability to cause lightning by flashing its eyes. The Thunderbird has very deep ties to indigenous people's history and culture, and for that reason, the history and lore is deep, and I'm definitely doing it a disservice by going over it this quickly, but it's pretty cool. 10 out of 10. Good job, Massachusetts. Michigan. The Michigan.
There you go.
There we go. I
The
was
Michigan Dogman. This is one I've heard of.
Pissed. I was gonna be pissed if they didn't have Dogman in Michigan, because that's like literally where all the stories originated.
Yeah, the Thunderbirds are pretty cool though too.
Thunderbirds. There's stories of Thunderbirds, like in
That's
various
Massachusetts.
portions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's stories of Thunderbirds in various parts of the United States,
Yeah.
and like
They're
snatching
like,
kids and livestock.
What's
Tim's-
the word? Thunderbird. What's the price? 60 twice.
So Tim Smith says Thunderbirds
Yeah.
are also in Illinois. We have a famous native painting of one in southern Illinois above a cave. Awesome. Oh boy. All right. Too many tabs.
Michigan Dogman. The Michigan Dogman is essentially the Michigan equivalent of a werewolf, but it's still kind of cool. The Michigan Dogman is a cryptid that was allegedly witnessed in 1887 in the lower
Damn.
peninsula of Michigan. It is described as being a 7-foot tall, blue or amber-eyed bipedal canine with the torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human screaming. According to the
minute.
legend, the Michigan
They're
Dogman
talking about
only
John Malin.
appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7. For example, 2007. 2017, 2027. The majority of these sightings have taken place in the southern part of Michigan. And for as how ferocious and scary the Dogman may seem, many believers say that the Dogman can be scared away simply by clapping at it, which is kind of hilarious. Oh, and
Clapping your ass
Eric
cheeks
July.
together?
That was Eric July.
Wait, was that wait, go back. That guy was clapping his ass cheeks together.
That's Eric July. Yes.
And for as how ferocious and scary the Dogman may seem, many believers say that the Dogman can be scared away simply by clapping at it, which is
So you don't need bear mace. You just need to start twerking.
Yeah. Kicking that ass. Shaking that ass. Working.
Yep.
it's Eric July.
kind of hilarious. Oh, and if you're able to scare away the Dogman without using your hands, give me a call. Only because I totally might need you to save me one day. Minnesota. The Wendigo. The Wendigo is by far one of the most well-known mythical creatures, folklore creatures, urban legends, cryptids, whatever
heard
you
of
want to call it.
Wendigo.
If you're watching this video, you probably know about it. And honestly, for good reason. It's cool looking, the lore is deep, and it might even be real. I've already discussed it on the channel, but I'm going to describe it again because it's really cool and I know you guys want to hear it. For starters, the Wendigo isn't just from Minnesota. It's kind of from all over the place, all across North America. I felt it was best fitting here because Minnesota was kind of slim pickings, and it was a good middle ground between all of the possible locations Wendigos could be from. The Wendigo is often said to be a malevolent spirit, sometimes depicted as a creature with human-like characteristics which possesses humans. The victims of the Wendigo feel an insatiable hunger and have the desire to eat other humans and commit horrible murders often.
Wait a minute.
In some representations, the Wendigo is described as a giant humanoid with a heart of
That sounds an awful lot like what's been going on at Ricada's house.
I thought it sounded like you, Jim. Jeez,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, how about this? A shout out to
Shout out.
Ice Wallow. Wait a minute. You almost got me.
Nice.
You almost got me, Mr.
Okay.
Ice Wallow.
Ice swallow.
Uh,
Ice wallow. Okay.
Here we go, guys. Ethan's shopping list. 1 Kellogg's Fruit Loops with marshmallows breakfast cereal. 1 Sierra Nevada Brewing Company Pale Ale craft beer bottles, 12 count. 1 Yoo-Hoo chocolate drink, 10 count. 1 Post Fruity Pebbles gluten-free cereal, 11 ounces. 1 M&M's cookies and cream ice cream, 4 count. Chips Ahoy cookies. Dow Cabernet Sauvignon bottle, peso or paso.
I don't know, some kind of fruity wine.
Yeah.
Fruity.
1 Kool-Aid Jammers cherry juice drink pouches, and 1 Entenmann's Poppets cinnamon mini donuts. I guess he's sending that to Shane.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. He sends Shane food all the time. Like, I
It's
don't know.
about
Like,
diabetes. That's what that is.
Cool.
he's trying to fatten up Shane, I guess. I don't know.
You only have to run faster than the person next to you when you're trying to run away. So if Shane is fatter, Ethan can get away.
I'm telling you, man. Like I don't. That picture of of Ethan at that comic show, Jim, that you showed the other night.
Yeah.
Holy God, his belly is big.
They stretched that out though.
Yeah, that was
That was stretched.
perspective thing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
deceptive. It was
It was
stretched.
wide angle lens.
No, you could see they stretched. Someone
Yeah.
took it and stretched it.
Yeah,
it was
the
a
guy
mean-
to
it
the
was a
right
mean
of him
picture.
was
Yeah.
just as big as him, and that was ridiculous. So
Do you guys ever play The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
So do you guys remember the mission where you got to fight the forest spirit, the Leshen?
I think so.
So
yeah.
if you look at how this thing looks, and it's been described in Native American folklore very similar, but it will have like the deer head with the antlers and everything.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
in the folklore over there, they call it the Leshy. So it's interesting to see that there's folklore very, very similar over in Europe. And then the Native Americans had this legend before Europeans ever got here. So
Right.
interesting.
Right.
ice and whose approach is signaled by its foul stench and sudden unseasonable chill. If this sounds familiar, it's likely because we just spoke about the Kawakwa, which is a very similar creature with its hunger and heart of ice. And I'm not sure who came first, the chicken or the egg, but I know that the Wendigo is a lot more popular. Wendigos are definitely scary and super interesting cryptids, and I would recommend looking into them deeper or maybe watching this video about mythical creatures that mentions the Wendigo. But for the scope of this mega compilation, I'm gonna cut it here. Great job, Minnesota. Mississippi. The Pascagoula River Aliens. The Pascagoula River Aliens aren't just any aliens. They are the aliens associated with a pretty famous UFO sighting and alien abduction account from 1973. For context, on the evening of October 11th, 1973, 42-year-old Charles Hickson and 19-year-old Calvin Parker told the Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office that while they were out fishing, they not only saw aliens but were abducted by them. They claimed
Why is a 19-year-old boy hanging out with a 46-year-old man?
Well, times were different back then, Dave.
No, they weren't that fucking different, dude.
don't ask, don't tell.
That
Maybe
definitely
it's
puts him on the map.
maybe it's his stepson. That's why they don't have the same last name. Hopefully,
Exactly.
hopefully
Right.
it's a stepdad.
claimed that the aliens paralyzed them but kept them conscious and examined them for hours before later releasing them. This isn't about the abduction,
did,
but
did
actually
they
about
probe them? Did they
Yeah.
probe them? Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
For
that's
hours and hours.
maybe that's what the 46-year-old roofied the kid. That was a
Yeah.
story he had to sell him because he woke up too early. Who the fuck knows? Holy shit.
about the aliens themselves. These aliens were described as having robotic slit mouths and crab-like pincers. They had more or less of a humanoid body, commonly associated with gray-ish aliens, but these ones seemed just a little bit different. You be the judge if specific aliens count as cryptids, but in my case they do, and honestly, Mississippi was kind of dry, so I thought this was interesting. Shout out Pascagoula, Missouri. The Ozark Howler. The Ozark Howler, unsurprisingly, is said to live in the dense forests of the Ozarks, which span across Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas. But for this segment, we're focusing on the howlers that live specifically in Missouri. The howler is typically described as being bear-sized, with a thick body, stocky legs, and black, shaggy hair, accompanied with glowing red eyes and prominent horns. Its cry is often described as being the combination of a wolf's howl and an elk's bugle, also combined with the laugh of a hyena. Sounds like a pretty horrible trio. The
Never
howler
heard
is
of
said
that.
to be a fierce hunter and a protector of the wilderness, also with supernatural abilities and a fierce protective nature. So if you're in the Ozarks, specifically in Missouri, and you don't want to encounter the Ozark howler, respect the wilderness, don't go out at night, and if you do hear a terrifying sound, just go home. Montana. The Flathead Lake Monster. Loch Ness Monster variant, but with antlers. The coolest thing about this cryptid
Dude, he's brought up more fucking Loch Ness monsters than Bigfoots. That's for sure. Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said. I think he's trying to stay away from the big things like Bigfoot, because almost every state's got some sort of hairy man story.
Yeah, but it seems like everybody's got a water
Yeah,
story too.
I mean, Northern California, there's a bunch of there's a story about a giant snake that lives in the water and eats people near Ishipishy Falls in Northern California. So
If you lived in California,
is
you
a
would
native
be eating people too. So
yeah, And I hear you might get probed if you go down to San Francisco, so you gotta watch out.
Or Pascagoula.
American legend surrounding it, which I'm going to tell now. According to legend, long ago, the first native tribe to live in the area lived in an island in the middle of the lake. One winter, while they were crossing the frozen lake to move to another camp, two girls saw antlers approximately 2 feet in length protruding from the frozen ice. Thinking the antlers belonged to some animals, the girls decided to chop them off and take them. While trying to take off these antlers with sharp rocks, the antlers started to shake and the ice split open all around them. The monstrous head opened, appearing through the ice, and shook its giant antlers. These girls used special abilities to transform into balls and escape the monster, but half of their tribe drowned in that lake. That's the story. So, moral of the story, don't...
Okay, so these girls saw something out of the lake, and they decided, we're going to chop that down.
Yeah.
We're going to beat that. And got half of our people killed. You know, just don't let girls decide things
And
like
then they
that.
turn
How
into
about
ball.
that?
Because as you do, you turn to a ball.
Yeah,
Turn into
exactly.
a
We all
ball.
turn to balls. You know,
Yeah.
balls.
Holy
It's like I
shit.
tell my son, you came from my balls.
And pee is in the balls, and we all know that. So
He is stored in the balls.
Uh,
Yeah, some of the stuff gets pretty goofy.
oh, it's great though, man. It's
Yeah.
great because you know why it's great? Because people like Low Watermark doesn't really believe in a lot of this stuff. So when people are really, really serious into it, and then you watch videos like this, you're like, oh fuck. No wonder they make fun of people who believe in stuff that they believe in. Because two girls turn into a ball trying to chop antlers off a fucking off the top of the ice. It's weird. And they get half their tribe killed. So what was the point of that fucking story? Don't if you're trying to teach a story to your tribe,
yeah,
what is
and
it?
it
Don't
doesn't seem like
steal?
they're trying to. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're trying to say don't do that. I
I-
mean,
Right.
it's almost like they were rewarded for doing that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to
maybe
survive.
they got rid of all the toxic men in their tribe by chopping these horns off.
Right. Low Watermark is a fad.
Exactly. Oh my God, they figured me out.
Oh no.
It took all this time, Dave. They figured me out. Oh
They
no.
got you.
Oh no.
He's a plant. Oh no.
Don't steal antlers you find in the ice, because if you do, you might live if you have the ability to turn into a ball, but you're going to kill all your friends, so don't do it. Nebraska, the alkali lake monster. The alkali lake monster is a huge alligator-like horned creature that lives in, you guessed it, the alkali lake in Nebraska. It's not a direct Loch Ness monster ripoff, so that's why I'm giving it a bit more love. This monster is claimed to have rough grayish brown skin and also is 40 feet long, and like I mentioned before, it has a horn in between its eyes on its head. The legend states that this lake monster consumes livestock in large quantities, causes earthquakes, and even disorients travelers that get too close to it. According to my research, I couldn't confirm if it was believed to be supernatural or not, but I'm going to assume it was, because not many creatures cause earthquakes unless they're super thick, which is a completely different story. Nevada, Tahoe Tessie, Nevada's Loch Ness monster. Moving on. New Hampshire, wood
Nice.
devils. Wood devils are believed to be one or a small group of Bigfoot-like creatures in the woodland hills of Coos County, New Hampshire. They've been spotted since the 1930s and described as tall, around 7 to 9 feet, with shaggy tan gray hair and very similar to Bigfoot's, besides the fact that they are slightly skinnier. A strange trait about this cryptid specifically is that they refuse to hide behind trees. If they are already behind a tree, they will hide behind it. But if humans are coming near them and they are not near cover, they will simply stand still and stare at you until you leave. Kind of creepy, kind of cool. That's about it. New Jersey.
If I was that big, I'd do the same fucking thing.
I'll be really surprised if this isn't the Jersey Devil in the Pine Barrens.
Okay.
The Jersey Devil. The
Yeah,
Jersey
yeah,
Devil
yeah,
is a legendary cryptid that is said to inhabit the forests of the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. This cryptid is described as a two-legged, goat-like, bat-like creature with hooves. Let me explain. The creature is said to walk on 2 hooved feet, have a goat-like body and a horse-like head with 2 large, leathery, bat-like wings on its back. It's also said to have a forked or pointed tail as well. Oh, and its hands aren't hooves. Its hands actually have claws. The legend states that it moves quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. This may sound obvious, but the New Jersey Devils, the official NHL team of New Jersey, is actually named after this cryptid, which is pretty cool. Now that I think about it, this might be the first time I've ever mentioned sports in this channel, which is kind of funny.
That's pretty cool, though, that they bought into the lore so much they named their professional hockey team after it. That's pretty cool.
New Mexico, Teratorns. Okay, this one's a bit interesting because this is actually a real creature kind of mixed with cryptid mythology. Teratorns are prehistoric birds that were the ancestors of modern day vultures. Skeletons that have been found measured their wingspans to be over 20 feet long, and they were thought to have weighed over 100 pounds, which for a bird is insane. These birds are presumed to be extinct, but they have found numerous skeletons. Why I mention this on this list is because in New Mexico, the Thunderbird cryptid mythology that we mentioned earlier exists in New Mexico as well, and it is believed that the Thunderbirds were potentially based off of the Teratorns, which existed long before ancient peoples, but they still somehow had knowledge of them and maybe even encountered them. New York.
So that's like they were probably around during megafauna, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, there's some
You know.
theories that they think it just might be a pterodactyl or some shit like that, you know?
Mm. Right.
Champ. Champ is the Loch Ness Monster of Lake Champlain in New York. That's about it. North Carolina. Wampus. Wampus, or the Wampus cat, is a cryptid based in Appalachian folklore. It is described
I heard of Krampus. I never heard of Wampus.
No.
as a fearsome hybrid between a mountain lion and a woman, but kind of just displays itself as a mountain lion with 6 legs. Believers claim that the Wampus cat roams the wilderness, emitting eerie sounds to strike terror into the hearts of those who encounter it. It's simple, but kind of cool. I'll give it that. North Dakota. Thunderbirds. I don't know how I accidentally made this the same cryptid for 2 different states, and this is the 3rd mention I've had of this cryptid in this video, so yeah, Thunderbirds, woo, let's keep going. Ohio. Loveland Frogmen. The Loveland Frogmen.
Hey, there you go, Beth. There you go. She said around here is the frogman. So good for Beth.
And is simply
Why is Beth always right about this shit, Jim?
described as a
Right on.
humanoid frog creature that stands at about 4 feet tall. Honestly, more of a chill dude than a cryptid, but figured you guys would like him. Say hi, Frogman.
Starting to think Beth
Yeah,
might
if
not
you've
be
made it this
real.
far, say hi, Frogman, in the
Yeah,
comments to
Beth,
say
She
hi to
knows too much.
AI, right?
She's AI or something. She
Yeah.
might be a Chinese bot
She's chat GT
trying to lure us in with all her good knowledge.
into her web of deception. Oh
Yes.
no!
And then she'll devour
Frogman
us
and-
like a Black Widow or a scorpion.
Methuselah. Oh, Jesus
So to
Christ.
confuse people that haven't made it this far yet, Oklahoma, the Oklahoma octopus. The Oklahoma octopus is a cryptid that is said to live in man-made freshwater lakes in Oklahoma, where it attacks and kills unsuspecting swimmers, and that's it. Oregon, Gumbaroo. The Gumbaroo is described by early lumberjacks as being larger than a bear with tougher, shiny black skin that absolutely nothing could pierce. It is even claimed that bullets just bounce off the thing, and according to the legend of the
You ever heard of that, Wode?
I mean, I grew up there and I never heard any of that shit before.
You never heard of Gumbaroo?
Hell no. No.
Got to go search that lore on Gumbaroo now.
Yeah.
The only way to kill it is with fire, and if you set it on fire, it literally explodes. This cryptid does have a good name, so congrats, Oregon. Nice job, Gumbaroo. Pennsylvania, the Squonk. Shout out to Pennsylvania for having one of the most depressing cryptids there is. The Squonk is more or less of a pig-like creature that only walks around at dusk and dawn. It is covered with extremely loose skin that is littered with warts and moles. The Squonk is famously known for being perpetually unhappy and always crying, like a lot. Skilled hunters can even track down the Squonk by finding its tear-stained trail. And when the Squonk is concerned, frightened, or feels like it may be in danger, it can literally dissolve into a puddle of tears to escape any danger. Doesn't get much sadder than that. Rhode Island.
I think I know what that is. I think that's a Redditor mod. Pretty sure.
Oh my God. That's crazy. That's actually kind of neat. Like, they're just as far as lore goes, but I would love to go to Pennsylvania, low water mark, and have a tracker show us how he tracks it. That'd be awesome. I mean, what a scam that is. Just have a guy in front of you throwing water on the trail, and then you say, "Oh, we lost him. This is where the big puddle is." So he won't come back until he knows everybody's gone. So we got to leave now. My God.
Island. Vampire Mercy Brown. The cryptid for this one technically is just vampires, but this story is kind of interesting and unique to Rhode Island specifically. The Mercy Brown vampire incident occurred in 1892 during what is known now as the New England Vampire Panic. At the time, tuberculosis was running rampant, and for some reason, people thought that this disease outbreak was caused by the influence of the undead. During this time, the people would perform rituals to banish.
Yep. I believe it. Yep. Yeah.
So you're saying vampires killed Doc Holliday?
Yes, definitely. That's vampires. They were hired by the cowboys.
I'm in my prime.
Yeah.
Our plane of existence forever. Why this is called the Mercy Brown vampire incident is because during this time, the Brown family had their daughter, Mercy, die of tuberculosis. Friends and neighbors of the Brown family believed that one of the family members was a vampire, although they didn't call them that at the time. This was in accordance to folklore at the time, which linked multiple deaths in a family to undead activity, aka vampire activity. The story goes a lot deeper, but as you know, this video is long. Rhode Island, vampires, let's keep going. South Carolina. The Gray Man. The Gray Man is a legendary cryptid from...
Hey, that's a movie on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they have a whole month dedicated to the gay man. It's June every year.
They want 2 months now.
Yeah.
From South Carolina that is considered a friendly ghost. He appears on beaches and shores...
Hey, wait, I thought Casper was the friendly ghost.
Yeah, well, maybe that's where they got the...
What about Wendy?
That's where they got the idea for the show.
Yeah.
The Gray Man.
Maybe.
Or
maybe. You think so?
Strong storms. The legend states that he was on his way to propose to the love of his life when he was killed, and now his spirit wanders South Carolina, warning others of impending danger. The legend states that if you encounter the Gray Man before a storm, you will be protected and your entire house may be saved. This is a pretty interesting and potentially our first upbeat cryptid on the list, so good job, South Carolina. I like this one. South Dakota. Tekuhi. Tekuhi means big man in the Lakota language, who are the indigenous peoples of South Dakota. Tekuhi is said to be a supernatural being who serves as a guardian spirit protecting land from invaders and malevolent creatures that hunt humans and animals. He is a cryptid that protects the nature and humans and animals from other cryptids, and for that reason, he's okay in my book, which is why I discussed this Bigfoot dupe. Tennessee. The Tennessee Wildman. The Tennessee Wildman is basically the opposite of Tekuhi. Like Tekuhi, he is a 7-foot-tall, dark-haired, humanoid creature, although that's about where it ends. He has piercing red eyes and screams a disturbing war cry that frightens anything that hears it. He smells awful, kind of like Bigfoot, but he is extremely aggressive. The Tennessee Wildman is extremely strong, fast, and agile, and is extremely territorial as well. He has an obsession with targeting dogs and women, and although he is typically seen trying to attack women, he has never been successful, as these women always find a way to escape. What do you guys think? Evil Bigfoot, cool or not cool? Texas. Donkey Lady. Donkey Lady is the famous cryptid said to haunt the Donkey Lady Bridge in San Antonio, Texas. According to the legend, the bridge is inhabited by the spirit of a woman who is horribly disfigured by a fire, leading to her being referred to as the Donkey Lady. It is said that she haunts the bridge, appearing to unsuspecting travelers who pass by, and the legend also states that she may even chase or attack those who get too close to her bridge. Kind of feel bad for the lady. She got made fun of for something she couldn't control, but at least she's getting revenge. Good for her. Do you, Donkey Lady? Utah. Skinwalkers. No video about cryptids is truly complete until you mention skinwalkers, and this video is no different. In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. Skinwalkers typically use these disguises or possessions to stalk their prey and kill and attack people. They also have other supernatural abilities such as super strength and voice mimicry to lead people to their certain death. The skinwalker lore is deep and goes far beyond the scope of this video, but I have made a video discussing them in the past. They're very cool, and check them out after this video if you want. Vermont. The Northfield Pigman. The Northfield Pigman is a cryptid or urban legend from Northfield, Vermont. Descriptions of the pigman vary, but he is typically described as a humanoid creature with the body of a large pig, but with the features of a man. Sightings of the pigman have been reported across rural areas surrounding Northfield and often in the vicinity of old...
So it's like a dog man, right?
Big man?
Yeah.
Big man.
Yeah.
Big man.
It's man, bear, pig.
Yes, man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
Melting the icebergs.
Yeah.
I guess so.
He's got a Patrick Duffy leg.
God damn it, YouTube, stop it.
farmhouses or abandoned buildings. Some interpretations believe that Pigman is the result of an experimentation gone wrong or a spirit of a deceased farmer seeking revenge. Although the origins are still unknown and often debated, Pigman is definitely creepy and sometimes is even described as just a boy that went missing in the woods who decided to wear a pig's face as a mask. But yeah, lots of lore, kind of creepy. Good job, Vermont. Virginia, Snallygaster. Like almost every cryptid, descriptions of the Snallygaster vary, but it is often depicted as a fearsome dragon-like creature with large wings, sharp claws, and a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth. According to the folklore, it preys on livestock and unsuspecting travelers, specifically children, by swooping down from the skies and snatching its victims. Some variants of the Snallygaster say it has tentacles instead of razor-sharp teeth, but either way, it's a terrifying-looking creature. Washington, the Concert Lake Monster. The Loch Ness Monster.
You know that one, Woad?
I haven't heard a lot of these Loch Ness Monster proxies.
That dragon with the metal beak is pretty cool, though.
I've heard about Snallygaster before. There's actually like a town that does like I don't know if they do a festival or whatever, but they've got merch and everything about the Snallygaster or whatever.
Oh, we're going to do government conspiracies too, Nicholas. It's not all about woo-woo.
How the fuck did I lose 2 subs? Pricks. Bunch of quitters.
Dude, it's not you. It's YouTube.
You think so?
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's near the beginning of the month. A lot of times they'll knock people off at the beginning of the month. Seems like, anyways.
Yeah. No, we're going to do government conspiracy theories because, 6 months later, it's not a theory anymore, right? It's usually true.
Just wait.
Yeah. Just wait. Somebody leaked it.
But in Washington, West Virginia, Mothman. The legend of the cryptid known as Mothman originates from the 1960s in Point Pleasant in West Virginia. Mothman is described as a winged humanoid creature with glowing red eyes and is believed to be a sign of impending disasters. The Mothman legend has taken Point Pleasant by storm, and there is so much tourist attractions based around it, and I have covered Mothman in another video of mine, so I won't go too deep into details. But there are many stories where he is seen jumping at cars from the side of the road and jumping on the top of cars that are parked in rural locations at night. It is a creepy cryptid that showed up and almost as fast as it appeared, disappeared from the zeitgeist. It is now simply a figment of our imagination. Wisconsin, the Beast of Bray Road. The Beast of Bray Road is described as a 7-foot-tall humanoid-style creature covered in hair or fur with the head of a large wolf that also has glowing red or orange eyes. It's been seen running on 2 and 4 legs, and some reports describe it as being close to a werewolf, and others say it's more close to a Bigfoot-style cryptid. Not really a ton going on here, but what can you expect? It's Wisconsin. Just kidding, Wisconsin. I love you. Wyoming, jackalope. Admittedly, this is likely my favorite cryptid on the entire list, simply because I find it cute, and honestly, I hope it exists, or at least did at one point. The jackalope is a cryptid that is described as being a rabbit with antelope horns, and that's basically it. They're pretty iconic in the Wyoming area, urban legend scene, and even pop culture as well. I know this video is alphabetical, but we kind of saved the best for last, unintentionally. And with that, bros, I have to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you know that I do take your feedback into consideration, and I know you guys.
That's a good video. That's a really good video.
It was fun.
I like how his animation is working with them. It's really good. I remember driving through the desert when I was a kid, low water mark, and we'd go to these, the gas stations, or they used to have Stuckies. They were like the old truck stops, down there. And you'd go in there, and there was jackalope shit for sale all over the place. Jackalope cups, jackalope shirts, hats, all that stuff. I mean, and that was in like New Mexico and Arizona. Yeah. So jackalope was everywhere when I was a kid.
Yeah, and you could buy the little head mounts too, right? That's the rabbit with the deer horns on it.
Yeah. I don't know if they're not real in Motto. I don't know if they're not a real thing. It could be a thing.
Hey, well, there's a lot of nuclear facilities down there. There's the possibility that a jackrabbit grew horns.
Or an antelope got a rabbit's body. Who knows? But we were talking about this the other night. Like mules and stuff, they can't procreate, right?
Yeah, they're sterile.
Yeah, they're sterile. So it's just
maybe a jackrabbit shot is shot with an antelope. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Jackalope, yeah.
So that was interesting. Did you have anything else you pulled up, Jim? Holy shit, there's 7 things in the private chat.
Hey,
Well, the
Dave,
one thing,
I'll be right
the
back.
one thing I sent isn't. It's was something not for stream. The YouTube link.
Oh, okay. What is
That
it?
was just a video of someone.
Oh boy. Thanks for the picture, low watermark. Let's see. It's called low watermark's asking the question here. Would you say this is layers of makeup?
Yeah, that's a lot of makeup. It's also been touched up
With Photoshop
digitally,
yeah.
Photoshop, because I saw that picture of that person from taken. Remember, we showed it that one night. Her face is a lot longer.
Yeah, that's true, right? Like her
Yeah.
face is very
Her face
round
is
here.
Her face is a lot longer. It's shrunk up.
Whoa. So thanks for that, low watermark. Did you ask her? Did you ask her how much? Did you ask in the picture like how much makeup does she uses?
No, but I got blocked a long time ago. Can
You
you
got blocked from
imagine what
side
it's like?
scrollers?
Well, Melanie Mac before, but can you imagine what it would be like? I mean, we're guys here. There's you, Dave, looking like you. And there's Jim looking like, well, Jim. There's
What do I
me
do?
not looking like me because I'm a whiskey glass. But, can you imagine being a girl and be able to just like put tons and tons of makeup on and look like you're 20 something years old when you're 49 years old, like Melanie Mac is? I mean,
I
geez.
thought she was 39.
No. That's Taylor Lorenz. In fact, Melanie Mac is like 73 years old, as I recall. But I was trying to be nice with 49, so nobody
Yeah.
remembers Taylor Lorenz. And
Yeah. Boy, she went away quick too, didn't she? Like,
well, Quartering finally stopped talking about her, so she went away.
yeah. She did go away after the courting stopped because nobody cared about her before him. I mean, she was a bitch. What she did to what's it? Lives a TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Showing up their house and shit. Wasn't that her that did that? Like,
I mean, but can you imagine? I mean, these guys actually build up the people that they're dissing. I mean, Brie Larson. What did you guys think of Jay taking a picture with Brie Larson? That was a few days ago, but I haven't been on here since then. You know that
Yeah,
Jay went to the Comic-Con or whatever the thing, and he took a picture, paid $50 or something to take a picture with Brie Larson, and he's looking like proud and all of that. I kind of called it out saying that, gee, you guys have been dissing Brie Larson for hundreds and hundreds of videos, and here are mocking her and making fun of her, Jay. That seems like you're being like not a nice guy. So
I didn't even know he did it. Did you, Jim?
yeah.
No clue.
You didn't know Drunk 3PO took a picture with Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he paid for that. Right?
Yeah,
I thought I saw
50
something about it. It was
yeah,
like a
50
paid
bucks.
thing.
Yeah,
50 bucks.
But he was making fun of her, and the entire fellowship is laughing at her, and he's there with his arms crossed, smiling, and she's there getting her $50, saying, "Okay, I'm here at a Comic-Con thing. I'll do this."
Yeah, but does Jay mock her?
Well, Jay did some videos, but he's there. Think about it. If he saw some guy, if he saw you, Dave, go up to Gina Carano and wink and smile at your audience, saying, "I'm here dissing this bitch,"
Oh yeah, right.
because that's what Jay did.
Right.
So it seems very disingenuous to me. Jay's supposed to be the nice guy,
Mhm.
but he took that picture with that smile on his face, and all the geeks and gamers and Gary people are saying, "Ha, you got her, Jay, you got her." Fuck you guys.
Right. How did he get her? She got $50.
Yeah, I know, but he got the picture and Jay captured it. Oh, fuck that. Anyways,
No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, that's like, you know, getting back at Disney by paying for their movies too, right? Like those guys
Yeah,
all
yeah.
pay to see the movie in the theater. So how did how did Disney lose to those guys? Just because they're making money making videos about it? Okay, but at least you went to see the movie. I'm not even going to the movies, Wode.
Yeah.
My wife did go see Inside Out 2 today with my daughter and grandson. Apparently that movie's done like $1.4 billion.
Which
So,
you don't hear about a lot, you know? I mean, that's fantastic.
yeah. I'll look it up real quick. Inside, damn it. Inside Out 2 box. About 1.27. Yeah, 1.217 billion. That's fucking good, man. So yeah, it did 122 million on its opening weekend, just in the U.S. So, you know, is it the movie that good? Probably not. But you think people are maybe wanting to get back to the theater with their kids and shit and just have a good time and see, you know, hopefully have a good time. Maybe. As long as there's no bullshit in it, that's fine. I asked my wife if she liked it. She said it was fine, but she didn't like Inside Out 1 that much.
That's a Disney film, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
But isn't Disney dead?
Well, yeah, but it's a long war. You know, we're winning the battle, but it's a long war, guys. If you keep sending me
your money, keep sending me your money,
and we'll win this war because you know there's a good 10 of us that need your support to fight the battle against Disney.
Well, I don't get what exactly is going to win, because they're not anti-woke. They said they're not anti-woke. They're not pushing political anything. So what's going to win?
No, Eric's not anti-woke or anti-political, right? That ain't how we roll here. That fucking video last night pissed me off so much. Low watermark. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's great. We're apolitical.
Yeah. Yeah, we will win, Jimmy the Lumberjack. Oh my God, it's so stupid. It you know, after you hear that shit enough times, you think to yourself, Wode, what's a win? What you think Disney's gonna go out of business because they make shitty movies? Nope. Because a lot of studios make shitty movies that still make money.
Yeah.
They do.
Just like Chevron, you know, they don't always have the best gas, so they're going out of business.
Yep.
I like Uncle E's response. Eric isn't. I like our response too, Beth, because we had some fun with that video last night. What are you drinking tonight, Wode?
Some different liquid death here. This is the mango chainsaw. It's pretty okay.
Just mango flavored water.
Yeah, it's not as good as the lime, but it's better than the watermelon. Kind of tastes like booty. It's not so great. Stay away from the watermelon one. It's not
I
good.
like just the straight up water.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you help, Beth. Yeah, so I don't know. Did Eric open his mouth today? Do we have anything that Eric said today that is you know, stupid? I mean, did you saw his 30% off sale, right? Low watermark.
Oh yeah. That's
But it doesn't include Yaira. Isn't that weird? Like, it's really weird. What the hell was this? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's really strange to me that you're not putting Yaira stuff on sale. You might as well get that stuff out the door.
Boost those numbers.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
might entice a few folks, you know, if they're willing to spend a few less shekels to get what they want.
oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, that Gladiator 2 trailer was uninspiring.
It looks bad.
Yeah. Hey, let's throw a rap track over an ancient Roman film.
Yeah. Oh. You want to know something? Eric July's inspired. Did you know that, low watermark?
I didn't.
He's inspired for Fan Expo 2024.
Oh God. When is that?
I think it's August or something.
Go into these cons, of course, anticipating that I will meet some awesome people.
Wait a
and I
minute.
always,
Wait a minute.
Go back. Go back.
What the hell? Where's that line?
I go into these cons, of course, and
Pause. What is that? It's like pastels. What is
Toronto
that
Raptors.
thing? What is that thing? He's in a little square space there. What is
That's
that?
his booth, and there's nobody in line. There's one guy talking to somebody behind the table, and I think these are employees out here talking to a couple other people.
So this is
I
just
think that
an
lady is
expo.
the one of his underwriters or whatever, right?
Right. That's that one that doesn't look like her image in the book, I think.
Oh God, not her. Yes,
Yeah.
it is her.
I think
God,
it's her.
it is. Yes.
Yep.
So
number?
so he doesn't have hundreds of people constantly behind.
No, it's
going to see
amazing.
him? Oh wow.
What the hell? Like, Eric,
I
you're
don't
the
believe it.
Rippaverse. You're the Rippaverse.
Look at this stuff here. We got Star Wars Theory down on the left bottom.
Mhm.
We got Jay's Green Book next to
Yep.
that. God, we got Blood Ruth and yada yada yada. We go over. We got. Oh God, there's only 4 or 5 people. There's 5 people on the right. There's 5 total people.
And 2 of them are employees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah, but the fans are so inspiring. They're just swarming the booth all day. He can't get away from the table. It's so
It's
busy.
terrible. It's terrible. But there's a bottle of water there, so
Yeah,
I
it's
think
smart
he could
water,
sell
too.
a bottle of water. Yeah.
It's smart water, low watermark.
Yeah. He could sell that and ship it faster than anybody else ships water.
Logistics. He's got a warehouse full of water.
that I will meet some awesome people, and I always do. All the fans,
Always.
even the newbies. You get guys that even just
What does that mean? Even the newbies.
People who never bought comic books before,
Yeah.
and they never did because they're your fans, so they don't know comics. Okay.
Yeah, really, really weird.
walk by the booth, and our lovely team is welcoming.
I
and they'll
told you
have
he was staff.
Yeah.
Told you.
You called it.
Yep. You think these 2 idiots asked to be in their picture?
Yeah, probably not.
They're down there taking a picture of these guys posing.
Yeah, a little
conversation, and
some
they
Monty
became a fan
Python
on
cosplay there.
I know.
the spot. Met a lot of cool people in that regard this past weekend. But I always leave the events inspired. It's different, right? Yeah. I see you guys online, see the videos, I see the tweets, I see the interactions, all on different.
This is why we're living in a matrix. This can't be real, right? This is the matrix.
You should do a whole stream on simulation theory, Dave.
Oh, we're going to, dude. Yeah. We got to pick a good government conspiracy theory too for the crowd. Just get my channel fucking banned right in election season. Holy shit.
AJ is still around. You might be okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Different forms of social media, and it's awesome, all of it, every bit of it, and I appreciate it. People that talk about the Rippaverse, converse about it, the fandom, I love you guys to death. But it is something different about actually meeting people, shaking their hands, and
look at that booth. It's so crowded. Wow, there's so many people there manning that booth.
Everybody else in the picture from the middle to the right is looking away.
Yep. Yep. And that's the guy that the staff members over here saying, "Hey, come look at my book." They're like, guys, like say, "Hey, come on over here. Come on over here." All these kids, look at all these teenagers, not even looking at Eric's booth.
The irony is
middle-aged white guy looking at the booth.
They're at the Miles Morales booth.
Yeah.
The middle-aged white guy's looking at the chick is what he's doing.
Right. I mean, and look, they have nothing on the table. There's nothing on the table for people to like pick up.
Yeah.
That's weird. You go to a fucking toy show or a comic book show, you get to go through the books. You get to look at them, all that stuff. And are these those CGC rated books up there, Jim?
Yeah.
On the shelf?
So it looks like.
Yeah.
God. And those are like $200-300
$100
a piece or something.
Well, it
right?
depends. Some of them they were selling for $400 or $500.
Yeah.
If they were 9.9s or 10s, they were selling for quite a bit.
So that just means somebody in Eric's warehouse didn't spit on them. That's why they're like 9.9 or 10, right?
Well, I think what they do is I think what they do is they send like a whole case unopened in, so that nobody
Oh.
touches them, and it
And
says
they
great, get them all
Pull 'em
graded.
from the middle, and they get the ones that nobody's touched. Okay.
Right? No, you send the whole case, and you tell them just great, and if they say just give us 9, we only want 9.87s or whatever, 9.6 and up. If anything is below that, just throw it away.
Right.
I think. I don't, because what if something comes back a 7? It'd be like, what? I don't want to pay for a 7.
Correct. So we got this guy here talking to her, and then Eric's talking to the middle-aged white dude and the
But
woman.
look at Eric's pose.
I
I mean,
know,
is he
it's so-
begging or what is he
Ugh.
doing?
I don't know, man.
I
But
mean,
none of the
he's
kids are looking at him.
up and,
This guy that works for Ripaverse staff is like, damn, this is not good. There's no kids coming to our booth. It's awful. It's exactly who we thought it was. It's middle-aged white people that support us.
Yeah.
This nerd in his ISOM shirt. Even Eric's not wearing an ISOM shirt at his own fucking booth. How weird is
and
that?
neither is the Saska sister either. They're no Blood Ruth, nothing. What the
Nothing.
hell?
Why aren't you? Why are you making your staff wear that shit, but you guys aren't? Fucking weird, dude.
Hearing their story, because everybody came to the Rippaverse different ways. Some people knew me from some of the other ventures that I had, maybe backwards, maybe even Fire, maybe from Blaze, maybe from the comic book commentary,
Maybe from FNT.
general YouTube stuff. Maybe they met me from someone else's channel, but everybody comes from a different walk of life, and they got here in different ways. And to be able to hear what their perspective is, and as well as how they're receiving that material, is awesome. Because
Do you mean by mail? Is that what you're talking about? How they're receiving it? Like it's packaged well? Because I swear to God, that's what he means, low watermark.
Yeah. He doesn't actually mean theoretical or it means
Right.
yes. How did we ship it to them?
Yeah. Did you get it like 2 days after the campaign ended? No, we got it 3 days later. I'm gonna go talk to somebody about that shit. You're not receiving the product well.
He's in cahoots with the aliens. It's probes. I can't do the hair. Aliens.
Oh my God, man. Oh,
it is unique. It's one thing to see people just speaking about it, but when you hear it and actually get to get the live feedback as you're conversing with people, when I hear someone say that they really enjoyed Salvage, they say, hey,
oh my God. They really enjoyed the test. See, this is what he's already trying to prep his fans. Hey man, you saw Salvage in the fucking Ripazine, right? So it's being received well. So expect a book. There's got to be a book now. I did 15 pages in a magazine or whatever, 10 pages, whatever it was. Now it's going to be a book because it was, people were liking it.
Yeah.
I don't know where he comes up with some of these names and spellings.
No.
Like Salvage. Like really,
Ugh.
bro?
Yeah.
Art's supposed to imitate life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never met somebody with the last name Salvage. I'm just gonna go out there and say that.
Yeah. We were talking about this last night with House of the Dragon. For every weird name in House of the Dragon, they're all better than any fucking name created by the Rippaverse. It's they're awful.
hey man, you need to really, really do that. It's my favorite story, even though it's only 13 pages or however much that it was. I'm really intrigued by this character. That's awesome feedback to hear. But
Dude, your fans would tell you fucking anything that you want to hear.
it's motivating. I always I say it all the time. Look, I leave it and I'm like, man, I'm inspired. I get back to work, back Sunday. I was back yesterday, got back home, back to work immediately. Actually, I was working Sunday night. Got back to work on Monday, of course.
Low watermark, I just don't know what his definition of work is. But I mean, is he working on books or is he working on sweeping the floor in the warehouse? I don't understand.
He's not writing. He's not producing. They're doing the lore. What is his work?
Yeah.
His work may just be worrying about it. You know.
Well, I mean, it probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, low
Yeah,
Mark,
go
but
ahead.
it probably takes him at least 4-5 hours a day just to keep that hair looking the way it does on his shoulders. I mean,
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you noticed though? He's wearing sleeves a lot more lately in his videos.
Yeah, he's been doing that and a couple other things too. So
Well,
I think he kind of hears it.
yeah, but I think it depends on if he's attacking someone, if he's want to go at someone and be tough, he shows the arm hair so they
Yeah,
know because it's impenetrable. So
Yep.
And
It's
when
sign of
he's not,
dominance.
when he's not sure, he's got the sleeves on so people can't see it. He's like meeker and milder with actual sleeves on. So maybe he's afraid.
Afraid. Has Ripoff first anything lately?
The grind never stops. We keep going, but I don't know. I just have a little bit of different energy, right? Going into those days, and I'm just stoked. Those following days, and I'm just stoked and I'm amped up, ready to write more stories, doing some editorial.
Write more stories. They're going to let him write more stories? Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't let him do that. Saska, stop him. Stop him.
Have a little bit of different energy,
Listen,
right? Going into those days, and I'm just stoked. Those following days, and I'm just stoked and I'm amped up, ready to write more stories, doing some editorial stuff, whatever it is.
doing some editorial stuff. Holy shit. Oh my God. Editorial stuff. Eric. Yeah, whatever.
Just inspired.
Inspired.
And that's all thanks to you guys. And I have to give a shout out, of course, to the Expo for having us.
Shout out.
Nice little spot this go around. I think everybody knows the draw that we have. Definitely now. So we are able to manage lines. I got to give a big shout out to the staff that were there as well. You guys got to meet a lot of them.
1,300
definitely
views on
our
this
more
video.
front-facing staff like Alex, who is also a member of Backwards. Had a couple of Backwards fans
Oh, look, more white people. Oh, it's the same one.
show up as well. So shout out to y'all. And we're trying to do more of these. Okay. We
Those
know
are
that
not
we
the-
can't do them all.
Those are not the pictures you take. Go back to that previous picture, like
You
10
got it.
seconds back. I mean, these are not the pictures you take when you're saying the lines were incredible. It's like they took the pictures on the last day after everybody went home, but this is probably prime time.
Yep.
This is it. They got him and 2 people. They got 3 people in a little cluster, a woman in pink going one way, a very big woman in white doing nothing. That's it. That's all they got.
No.
What the hell? That's it?
The woman in white is there to harvest the souls of men gone wrong and cheeseburgers.
I mean, come on, man. What are we looking at here, Eric? This is your inspiration to come back and write. You're just told us about how inspired you are. Man. Okay.
That should
Shout
have
out to
been so
y'all.
much bigger.
And we're trying to do more of these. Okay. We know that we can't do them all. We can't do every con. It just doesn't.
You couldn't
We
even
can't-
do Dallas. Jesus
We can't
Christ.
con everybody, is what he's saying. We can't con everybody. Okay.
Is Denver a
Ginger
big
and gay.
show?
Ginger
my-
and gay.
Doesn't make sense for us, especially as the publisher, right? Would I like to get to a point to where like maybe I have a team that I'm sending to a lot of them. Maybe if we aren't there, but at least just going there and maybe send 1 or 2 guests. I don't know, maybe. But for
You think
A
people give 2
team.
fucks about your people being guests at a con?
Can you imagine? Eric's not here, but he sent the 3rd assistant secretary to somebody. Oh my God. Thank you, Eric, for sending your assistant to us.
I mean, we got to hear this again.
there, but at least just going there and maybe send 1 or 2 guests to a lot of. Would I like to get to a point to where like maybe I have a team that I'm sending to a lot of them. Maybe if we aren't there, but at least just going there
You
and
said
maybe
something
maybe
else.
us, especially as the public, can't do every con. It just doesn't make sense for us, especially as the publisher.
Why? It doesn't make sense to go to the con as the publisher, Jim. Is
Why
he
not?
saying it doesn't make sense because he's on the same level as Marvel, and Marvel and DC don't set up booths at these things?
But they do, and they set
I
them up,
know.
and they put the months in advance. They're all ready, and everything's all ready to go. He wants them to come to him and say, "We got these booths. We want you there." It just doesn't work that way, though. That's not how the world works.
But for
You
him to say it
remember
doesn't
when-
make sense for them, especially as the publisher, that's fucking weird, dude. If you hire or you have a bunch of comic book stores and they're buying them from you and then they go out to promote your book, that's probably even more beneficial to you because there'd be more shows that you don't even know, not just cons, just regular local shows with comic book store owners that go to them and they're promoting shit every day at these cons and toy store or toy shows and stuff. But no, Eric's the publisher and he's the ruler of all, but so it doesn't make sense for him to promote his own comic book and publishing company. Why wouldn't you promote Rip Ascend at the same time? Why isn't there a big Rip Ascend? So if there are indie creators at this con, they can go talk to him about that while he's there. You want to grow your fucking business? It's not on your videos, dude. This ain't growing Ripaverse or Rip Ascend. Yeah. Top Cow and the president of Top Cow goes to cons. I'm sure he doesn't complain. No, he's very happy to be there, dude. Especially if you're just starting out. He's still just starting out. It's only his 2-year anniversary, low watermark.
Oh, but he has millions, Dave. Millions. Over 10, 20, $63 million he's made. Just listen to him. He talks about it all the time. So must be true.
Must be true.
Sure, right? Would I like to get to a point to where like maybe I have a team that I'm sending to a lot of them. Maybe if we aren't there, but at least just going there and maybe send 1 or 2 guests. I don't know. Maybe. But for the bigger ones, it does make sense that.
Aren't you supposed to send your artists there? Isn't that the whole purpose of them? Is for the artists to go to sign things, to meet people, their actual fans, promote their books.
No, you said your accountant. You said your accountant.
Oh, you said a team of fucking money. Yeah, you said your team of fucking warehouse workers to tell them about how they package things. What the fuck?
What an idiot he is. It's amazing.
Oh my God. It's so crazy, man. Like, what are we doing
that
here?
We have a handful of them that you guys get used to us, showing up. MegaCon being as for an example, one of them. That we just want to make yearly and we want to meet you guys. So we love doing this stuff. I love talking with you. Of course, I love putting the.
So just going to the same show over and over again, seeing the same people that live in that local area is going to really help your company grow, dude. Why don't you look at your fucking shipping addresses, see where you're not that popular, and then maybe do a con there so you can introduce yourself to those people that don't watch FNT. Obviously, that's, maybe it's San Francisco, right? Maybe it's
well, I would think you'd want to go, like, say if he's selling a bunch of books in Washington State, let's say, if he's got like 100 customers, you want to go there because you want to, otherwise it's like those people will be like, well, I wanted to get these signed or I want to meet people.
But you also want to go places where maybe they don't know you yet and get the word out. Maybe they meet you and go,
I think he's had better time selling to people that don't know him.
Well, we saw how crowded the booth was. Like, it was so crowded. I'm sure he sold a ton of product. I mean, it just looked amazing. Like, those pictures just, man, like low watermark.
Hey, that was a big difference, though. Think about what we think went on inside when Riley was outside in Dallas, and Eric spent all of his time at his booth, right, selling merch. But look at this booth, and there's no merch on the tables.
Also, think about,
was it entirely just F&T crowd buying stuff, so he was able to spend hours selling stuff at that one, but at this one there's no F&T, so there's no crowds?
I really, really think that is what I was getting ready. I was getting ready to say that. Like, I really think, like, if you look at this booth, there's no Gary, there's no Critical Drinker, there's no Jeremy or Ryan all there at the same time, right? So of course the turnout's less, but Gary, Craig from Side Scrollers, Quarter Black, all these people were at the meetup. So maybe that's a difference. Like, we've been saying that forever. Like, it ain't Eric, It's the
Yeah.
people around Eric that are supporting him because they want to support their boys that they watch every Friday and Tuesday.
And
What do
if
you
this
think?
is the photos that he's willing to, we said this earlier, if these are the photos he's willing to post, where are the photos with 50, 60, 70, 80 people in line? Because if I was Kara, whatever his community manager person is, I'd
Yeah.
be there snapping pictures of the big lines, the 50 people swamping Eric.
Yeah.
But he showed
mean-
3 people.
I want to see the pictures because we talked about even at the meetup where Riley was at that they were wrapped around the building.
Yeah, and that wasn't true either. So
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, why isn't there pictures of that posted all over? Why isn't there a video of that showing that line around the building? You know what, Andrew? He gets into MegaCon. He's going to Denver Fan Expo, so he can get into these cons. But it was weird. He didn't go to Dallas, but I think he was butthurt that Dallas didn't give him a free booth. That's what it sounded like a couple weeks ago.
Well,
Low Watermark,
he
when we were
keeps
watching them.
saying stuff like that. I mean, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. Eric thinks he's bigger than that. If they don't give him a free booth, oh, you mean Ethan Van Sciver would pay thousands? Well, you should pay me thousands to have me here because I'm so much bigger than him. I bet he thinks that. I bet he thinks he's bigger and he should be paid, not actually pay.
Yeah. That's like going to the car show in Chicago, Jim, and Ford and Mercedes and Honda and Toyota. They're not paying for the booths, right? They're all free. They pay for the fucking floor space to get their product on the show floor. It's a thing. And that convention center where they have the fucking car show in Chicago, it's so expensive to get a booth. It's ridiculously expensive. Trust me, the company that we sell for gets a booth in that same center like every 2 years for a big electric convention. It costs them $10,000 or $15,000 just to set up their booth for a 2-day show. It's unbelievable. And the crazy thing is, they don't even invite us, the distributor, for them. They don't even invite us. So they just send us leads from the show. It's like, oh, all right, why don't you just invite us and we can meet them ourselves? We'd probably be able to tell you they're already our fucking customer, you jackass. You know what I'm saying?
The faces to the names and screen names that I see a lot of that. Like, hey, I'm so and so. You see me in the chat all the time. Like, oh man, it's you. It's awesome. Finally get to meet you guys. So it's awesome, and I'm so inspired, and it does make us want to do more of them. So big shout out to y'all. We do appreciate you, everybody that came, showed all the love for Denver Fan Expo. We got to give you a big shout out.
Oh, that was Denver Fan Expo. That was Denver Fan Expo, Low Watermark.
Yeah.
Wow. Oof.
And of course, all of our guests, man. Thanks to you all.
Wow. I thought it was upcoming, like he was inspired that it's coming up. So that was
the big one. After the Riley show, this was the big one that was coming up. And yeah. So the Gary show was much bigger at the bar than the Expo show. Think about that,
Think about it. And like he had a lot of people there. He spent some money to get all those people hotel rooms for a couple nights and, go up there and, buy him food and all that shit. So, and that's as crowded as his booth was. Wow. Well, tomorrow night's government conspiracy, I think, Jim. Or what was the other one? What would you say? What were you saying, Wode? The other conspiracy?
Oh, trying to think.
Oh no, what was it? Like the Matrix shit.
Oh, like simulation theory?
Yeah, you believe in that, Jim? Uh-oh. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
can't hear you.
If you look at it from a mathematical standpoint, the chances that we're in a simulation are greater than not, based off the, some of the discussions.
I don't
Greater
want to
than
believe it
0.
because then it just makes everything you're doing pointless. Like
Yeah.
everything. Like if
Well-
if you go too deep that now rabbit hole, it's like, why get up today?
What if I'm just a really shitty avatar for somebody with a pair of VR goggles on somewhere? You know,
Right. Right.
it's like, oh shit, that's depressing.
Right. Oh my God. So is there another theory, government conspiracy theory you're into, Jim?
No, not really. I mean, I had that video that I talked about that we were going to watch until we got sidetracked on Earth expanding.
Oh, did ancient aliens create different races? Oh boy. Not now.
What do you think? Anyone? Not now?
Yeah,
No?
yeah. That could go anywhere. It could
Yeah.
go anywhere and everywhere.
That could be a 3-hour conversation.
Well, it's only 22 minutes long. I mean, how long can it take?
Yeah, with Dave stopping every 10 seconds.
I'm not controlling it, so that's one thing. However, no, that's a 3-hour conversation.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, we could call it early tonight. I mean, it's, they get what they paid for. They only paid $50. They get 2 hours. They want it longer. They need to pay more. We're going to be like Aaron Imholt. All right, listen.
Who?
We got a goal tonight. Aaron, steel toe guy. We got a goal tonight. If you want to keep us going another 30 minutes, we need $160 in the next 5 minutes. All right. I guess you don't want us because it's been 2 minutes and you haven't given me any money. Come on, give us money. Give us PayPal. Come on, StreamYards. Give us money on the PayPal link. Come on, Kickstarter, whatever. Give us money. That's what he
is
does.
he the new
do?
DSP?
That's
on
his
the-
fucking
DSP.
show.
It's DSP.
Yeah,
I
it's
need
just
the money
That's
DSP.
his
pay
show.
my
It
bill.
is so fucking annoying.
to pay my electrical bills, to pay my internet
do
bills.
people do it?
Sometimes he makes money. He's got like a $295 goal every show to
Oh,
pay his
okay.
bills. And he's basically constantly saying, "Hey, the goal's at this. Come on, get the money. Come on, kick it in. Go, on Rumble, on Kickstarter, this, and give
I
me
would
money
much
on
rather
this."
do anything other than that. My God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It is e-begging and it sucks.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, it's like
But
the guys that make like big money don't beg.
no,
They don't
no.
beg.
But he's getting some comeuppance tonight, though.
Oh, yeah?
From where?
Oh, from his friends that somehow now there's a problem. That remember Gino and Kiki that he was
Yeah.
on, like Keanu was on, and he was talking shit about Keanu, or Keanu was talking shit about him.
I was
There's a
watching
bunch of
Keanu
shit
a
that
little
came
earlier.
up about
So,
not only was he abusive to April, he also was abusive to his first wife, and then some other shit happened. The reason he lost his radio show was because he sexually harassed a woman or something. So it's all coming out.
Is this
Oh,
the
excellent.
fat guy and the little guy?
No, this is the guy that was the Ricada guy with his wife. And now Kiki's saying that like Aaron was lying about
Well, who's
everything. That
Kiki?
the girl that is Gino's girlfriend, Keanu Thompson. She was on with. Remember we watched her one night. She was on with Camelot.
yeah, Keanu is one of Chrissy Mayer's.
One of Chrissy Mayer's
Oh,
friends on the
yeah.
She's the
Simcast.
unlikable one, right? She's like
She's
Yeah,
really
she's-
skinny.
Yeah.
She's really skinny. She's actually a nice girl. I've met her in person. She's a nice girl.
Okay.
She's actually quite funny on stage. I
But
thought
yeah,
she was very
I was
funny.
watching her a little earlier tonight too before I came on here, and so I'm glad it got vicious. I'm glad
Yeah,
that
her-
Aaron is like
she's-
really taking it.
Yeah, she's saying now that originally Aaron was telling her that, like, oh, well, this all happened because he was screwing around with Nick's wife, and that April found out, like it was just lies upon lies upon lies, and he's just like, I can't take the lies anymore.
But
You
she
know,
was 2 weeks ago talking about what a dick Ricada is.
Right now, she says she still don't like Ricada, but she doesn't really know him. But she knows Aaron's a liar and a scumbag that beats women.
Yeah,
And,
so she's both playing for the grift and bullshit. But
Yeah, I don't know, but basically that originally, like she's like, Aaron told me that April never was with Nick, and then all of a sudden 2 days later he's on stream talking about how there was all this wife swapping, and
makes you question whether Aaron is
Aaron's telling the truth about anything. Yeah,
I know.
That's why I said. I mean,
amazing, isn't it?
maybe we need to wait and see. I don't know. It'll be a lot of people have egg on their face if it turns out that Nick just helped some woman escape an abusive relationship and got fucked over.
Hey Jim, Nick has said multiple times that there is no proof that he used any drugs. Now they took hair samples apparently from everybody, And the hair samples show whether you have drugs in your system or
Right.
not.
I think that's. In my honest opinion, I think that's Nick just being lawyerly about it. Right?
Okay.
Clearly, he was doing drugs. They found a bunch of drugs in his house.
No,
I don't
They
care
found-
that he was doing
they
drugs.
found drugs in his house. I mean,
But
he
did
was
they
using them.
prove that he did it with a scientist?
Well, no, they don't have any proof. But
But if
let's be
it's
adults.
Are
you
his-
know,
But if it's not
did
there when
they
you go into
release
court-
did they release Nick's results?
no. As far as I know, they came back negative. Anything that was reported. The only positive was the kid, and that was completely like out of left field and completely weird, and maybe a mistake. Could be any number. A problem. Maybe something got mixed up. Something got contaminated.
hey,
So
Jim,
maybe it was April's.
Who
well,
knows?
who knows? But hey, Jim, why do people keep asking Nick to release the police body cam footage?
It's not
Nick
up to
doesn't-
him.
I know. Why do they keep saying that? Why doesn't Nick release? He doesn't release the police body cam. What is that stupid shit?
He might. I mean, he possibly could demand the body. His lawyer could say, "We want the body cam footage," and could get turned over to his lawyers. But I don't think that gives him a right to release it publicly.
And it's
That
not
has
up
to
him
come-
to
Yeah,
release it publicly. I mean, it's
yeah.
up to them to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
weird. It's so stupid.
it's not like. I mean, they released Riley's footage in Texas like 2 days later.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Well,
crazy.
Quit. They're all
Completely different situations.
Yeah.
Or different states at least, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Minnesota treats it like it's evidence until the case comes up, and Texas says, "Well, it's public property. The taxpayers pay for this shit."
Yeah.
So they
You know,
should do whatever
Texas
police force is
Texas
doing.
might have a sunshine law, like Florida has a sunshine law, where they get whatever it's sunshine, get it. It has to go out. Nothing, can't keep anything secret. So they might have Minnesota, because it's run by Democrats. Probably doesn't.
Right.
They like to hide shit. Them
Unless it's
Democrats.
George
in their best
Floyd.
interest. Yeah.
Well, they have a
Unless it's
loophole
George
that they
Floyd.
say if they want to start prevent a riot, they release the body cam footage.
Mostly peaceful.
But they didn't release the body cam footage of George Floyd. That video that you saw of George Floyd was taken by a woman. They hid the body cam footage, which actually showed that he wasn't kneeling on his neck.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Oh, that right.
So-
It was a cell phone from.
That was a cell phone. It wasn't
yeah.
body cam. The body cam actually would have showed that no, he wasn't on his neck, and they
Yeah.
hid it. So
Imagine
hide-
that.
But they didn't hide it from the courtroom.
no, it was shown in the
No.
courtrooms.
And the jury still bought the whole narrative anyways.
Well, there was a guy who was protesting for George Floyd on the jury. What do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
And he was probably the fucking
Foreman or something.
foreman. Yeah. It's, I was watching a show today talking about how just one person can change the whole courtroom or the whole jury room, and that's why they kind of think that jury trials are bullshit. Like
Well,
it's very easily influenced by the strongest person in the
Yeah.
room.
If you're one, yep.
Yeah, the jury system was designed to give the people a check on the government. The problem is the vast majority of people out there just go, "Oh, I just want to get out of here, and he's probably guilty. Just let's go, whatever." They wouldn't have arrested him if he wasn't guilty. So let's just go. Come on, whatever. Sure, yeah. And nobody today realizes what people 100 or 200 years ago did. That the government is your enemy. They're not there to help you. And
Sure.
you should be paying attention to what they do at all times and holding them to account and watching them and making sure that they meet their burden every step of the way, that it doesn't matter if it's a technicality, that the reason the whole fucking Constitution is a technicality.
Yeah, of course.
What's that video of the dude? He's like, it's a government by the people for the people,
But the people are retarded.
retarded.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Wise man.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, just look at who's running our country right now.
Well, you get into the whole like government conspiracy things and everything, and who controls the media and all that kind of stuff. Is everything a psyop? The media is. I mean, they signed
know.
laws where they can use the media as a propaganda tool. So I mean,
Yeah.
So-
you
Do you remember in the 30s there was that
Nazis.
there was this it was called Arsenic
I'm not that old.
Inc. crime thing. It was a thing called Arsenic Inc.
When you talk about Murder Incorporated.
No, Arsenic Inc. And it was a doctor,
Oh, okay, no,
insurance
right.
guy, and they were going around and they were like getting women and men to kill their husband or wife, and they would use arsenic to do it.
Arsenic. Yeah.
Life insurance?
No.
For life insurance policies, right? And they had a doctor that
Do you have a video on it? Can we pull it up?
Weird segue. Sounds
no.
like
I'm just saying. My point is about jury trials. So in this case, the women, the wives who had nothing to do with it. They didn't even want these people to kill their husband. They came and they just did it. Okay, like they showed up at their house. And they said that they were faith healers and all this weird stuff. And she's like, I don't need you here. I'm happy with my husband. And he's like, yeah, but he's depressed. And, he's sickly. And we just want to help him. We can heal him. Just
wait, hold on. Why would wouldn't the wives be the one that are getting the life insurance? So why wouldn't they be involved?
Nope. They were.
So this was back before they had regulations where anybody could get a life insurance policy on anybody else. Like I could get a life insurance policy back then. I could get one on Woad without even knowing about it.
So the wife would get a $400 life insurance policy back then, right? Cost like 12 cents a month or some ridiculously low amount, right? But the doctors would get her signature, and then they would go and get their own policies because they had an insurance guy working for them too. Okay. And they would use her signature on this stuff. So anyway, these women, they go to jail or they go to court, and the jury finds the first woman guilty, and she goes to jail for 30 years just because reasons. So the second woman comes up, and there's even less evidence she had anything to do with it, and she's found guilty. The bitch of it is the foreman in the first trial was the foreman in the second trial.
How is that even possible?
He weaseled his way into the jury and fucking screwed both these women over, because in the doctor trials and the insurance guys trials where they got the death sentence. That guy was attending all those trials and then got into these women's trials and had them put away for 30 years. They had no proof that they did anything. And people in the jury were not going to vote against her, but he put so much pressure on these fucking people that they finally came back guilty. That's what I'm talking about.
Actually, that juror should be the one in jail because they're not supposed to know. Like, if you're not supposed to know anything about the case, you're not supposed to, like, do you know anything about this case? You're supposed to say, yeah, I sat and watched the trials.
Closure.
That'd be like if we're watching all this stuff on here and talking about a case, let's say like that Karen Reed case, and then all of a sudden somehow I get picked for the jury, and I'm like, oh, I don't know nothing.
Right.
And then I'm like, that, like, she's innocent. What are you talking about? They set her up and let her go, and then that would be wrong and distorting justice.
No, Dave, the reason I said weird segue was because my great uncle, there's some controversy about his death where they think that he might have been killed by his wife with arsenic poisoning. Yeah. So it's weird, and it fits the time frame that you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, it was very hard to tell.
Yeah.
They didn't know what to look for. Yeah.
Like it would show up. They would just think it was a normal thing unless they, like, if they caught it
today. It's still hard to tell today if you don't know to look for poisons. It's like
modern toxicology, and you think back then they didn't have the same kind of technology. So
and there's the thing too with modern toxicology, like when they do that test, they might test for like 200 poisons. Well, there's thousands of poisons that won't even show up because you didn't test for those. You have to be very specific.
Well, it's just like when they do piss tests, right? Like if you're going in for drugs, that what a lot of folks don't realize, when they throw all that urine, they usually do batches, and they check the batch for a precursor of some sort of narcotic, unless it's a very specific, like pointed test against a singular person. Mm-hmm. And then what will happen is they'll test it, they'll find it, and then they'll recall all the people that took that test, and then they'll go back to focus testing, because it's very, very expensive to do individual tests on all the samples, unless it's a case where there's a criminal trial or something. Like if you're talking, like if it's for like a job or something,
your random drug test.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're not gonna test each individual person. They're gonna test the batch.
Yeah, that the government does that, but a lot of them now, they just use like the cups.
Yeah,
it's like, but that's not valid for any type of, no. They put it in the cup. It comes a presumptive positive, and then they have to send it out. Which we don't even know if that's the test. Like if that's the test that came back with Nick's thing, like going back to that, I didn't see anything that said they confirmed the test. It just said a test. Like usually there's a presumptive test that has to be they have to send it to a lab and actually look at it with the radio gas chromatograph to see
That's
what it exactly is.
That's like when
To
you
say
get
what it is.
that's like when you get pulled over for DUI. And
Right.
You blow positive on the road. That test
It's-
does not count.
Right.
It's when you get back to the station and you do that test that it counts.
Well, it's
I
like
only
when
know because I got one when I was 18, and right before he pulled me over, we just ate Wendy's, but I blew like a point 0.12 on the fucking road that night. By the time we got back to the police station, it was almost 3.5 hours after I got pulled over, and I was a 0.08 by then. His fucking boss yelled at him so bad. What the fuck are you wasting my time for, you dumb motherfucker? You got this kid in my police station at 3:00 in the morning. I got to call his fucking dad. Like, low watermark, I felt bad for getting him in trouble. Like, oh shit.
If they had done the test 2 hours earlier, you'd have been fucked. Though.
Well, it was probably 0.10 at that time, wasn't it? Because I think they didn't.
0.08.
It was because I didn't think they lowered it to 0.08 until the 90s.
depending on the
Maryland,
state.
though. It was
Yeah,
Maryland.
depending on the state.
So
I'll be right back. I gotta pee.
yeah. So anyway, I got to go to court anyway. So I go to court, and the judge looks at me and he goes, "Where's your fucking lawyer?" Not fucking. He goes, "Where's your lawyer?" I said, "I was under the impression I didn't need one." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I blew the legal limit." He goes through the paperwork real quick and he looks at the prosecutor. He goes, "What the fuck is he doing here? Like, get him out of here." He made me pay court costs though. I had to pay to show up to be told to get out.
Nice.
Stupid. It was like $50, and my mom was like, "Jesus Christ, these courtrooms are a joke."
Big Brother's going to get their pound of flesh one way or another.
You know what's funny about that cop though? We became best friends after that. We were on the same softball teams and shit. We had a good time. He was a state trooper too. So he, and then he became a detective, and somebody broke into my car and he found all my shit, dude. He caught the kid and brought all my shit back.
Nice.
It's crazy. I had no idea who did it. And who it was, his next door neighbor's son that stole all this shit.
Jesus, man.
Imagine being so stupid you're a thief and you live next door to a state or a state detective. Oh my God.
Well, success, like smart thieves don't get caught. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I was just impressed or surprised to know that, when I heard that story today about the guy being on the jury that was able to affect 2 trials and fully knowing the story, low watermark. That's what kind of gets fucked up with the jury system, because people lie all the time. They lie to get out of doing it. They lie to get on it, depending on their situation. So, all right, guys. Tomorrow night we're gonna come up with a theory. We're gonna find out what low watermark's favorite government conspiracy theory is and talk about that, because I'm sure you have government conspiracy theories, low watermark.
Oh, you bet, Dave. You bet.
DM me tomorrow and we'll come up with an idea. So you'll be back tomorrow, Wode?
I should be able to. Yeah. As long as I can't promise I'll stay too late because it's a work week for me, but I'll come hang out for a bit and talk shit. I'll have a good time doing this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I think Jim's still peeing. He'll come back and we're gone. That'd be funny.
And he's got his stream still going. I hope he turned his microphone off.
I'll do the
Listen
outro.
to Jim peeing on his microphone.
I'll do the outro. But thanks, chat. Thanks for the memberships, low watermark. Thanks for the super chats as well. Low watermark and chat. It's fantastic. I'm glad everybody comes in here and we just have a good time talking, having a good time. And we still get a little bit of detracting in, just enough to but not too much to just be like, ugh, like all night. Sometimes that shit's exhausting, low watermark.
Yeah, it is.
Even like, have you noticed like Ethan doesn't do it nearly as much?
No, it gets tiring. It's enough. It's enough. So
Yeah. All right. Let's say good night to everybody. See you, Wode. See you, low watermark. And
Guys?
Jim, when you come back, we'll be playing the song.
end the show? It would have been funnier if you'd have just stopped it and shut it off.
I didn't want to be that much of a dick. You know, you guys, Jim, in the watermark, here's those screaming. You should never play the outro or the intro because these are songs that I have used.
Yeah, no, I know. I just cut it out.
But if you could end your screen, before you get to it all, because then cutting out gets tiring too.
It's too hard to start it. You know what I mean? You got to start it beforehand. So there's no way it's going now. It's not going to stop until this whole stream stops. Nick is supposed to be streaming tonight.
Yeah.